still rolling up Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a
Maybe. I mean, I've always wanted to play with one. I've always wanted to play with like a bobcat as well. Like the one time when we were leveling out the area for our pool growing up, we had a bobcat for about 3 days. You know, we're moving a lot of dirt around and we're digging out, 2 feet in the ground to partially bury the pool because it was a smart idea. And I never got to drive it. My dad did. And I was like, oh, come on, let me drive it. It's like, and just had the basic front loader, just for moving dirt.
Man.
Never got to do it,
yeah.
man. Never got to do it. And I try to remember, I think that was it wasn't the tracks. It was a four-wheeler, so that,
right.
So either way, but yeah, guys, welcome back to the Now You Made It Awkward podcast, episode 62. And I don't have my normal co-host this week. Schedules are a bit weird, but I do have a special guest that I've been meaning to talk to for quite some time, as an old friend of the SHOKY channels, good old James the Dewdawg himself.
Oh yeah, man.
All right, good.
It's always a privilege and an honor to hang out with you. So
dude. Like, I don't even know the last time we actually got to sit down and talk. I know it was one of my random live streams that I used to do, for sure. It was just a random podcast. I interviewed you many years ago after we had just gotten together in like collector groups and stuff like that, and on one of the old SHOKY Nerdcast one-on-ones. And that was a whole lot of fun. We talked to. I know I had to edit a few things out of it, but we talked toys, religion, a bunch of other stuff like that. And politics weren't exactly the hot button that they are now, but I've always followed you since then. I've been checking out what it do on the Dewdawg thing, because you have one of my favorite little shows, Coffee and Figs, which is figures, not the little shrunken thing, guys. Although, yeah, not the little shrunken fruit, but no, the actual figures. Because I just always dug that. It was one of those silly things. But guys, of course, you can follow his links down below, along with all our normal stuff, my SHOKY stuff. Everybody who isn't here tonight, their links are usually down there as well. So for the YouTube, the Instagram, whatever it is you need to plug, by all means. It's pretty much Dewdawg reviews everywhere, right?
Yeah, Dewdawg reviews behind YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I mean,
yep,
all of that.
And you were a little bit of inspiration for me getting better at taking better toy photos and stuff like that too, because you really upped your figure game, as it were, when it came to taking pictures and stuff like that. You have your little dioramas and your lighting and stuff like that you'd set up for whatever figures you got in. So that was a better inspiration on me to get better at taking pictures and working with lighting and angles and posing. So, you've influenced me a bit.
Well, hey man, that's an honor to me. I didn't realize that, but yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's always fun to have somebody like, man, hey, okay, I enjoy your stuff, and it just inspired me to do this, and that's always cool. So,
and I'm jealous of your collector room, because you got like my room is fine, but you've got some cooler stuff, like especially the games behind you back there. And I think the last time we talked, you were still working out a few things, but I remember you had like this little corner shelf, and I forget, was it Captain Marvel figures, or no? It was Valkyrie. Like,
Valkyrie?
Yeah, you had a buttload of Valkyrie figures like crammed into one little spot. I remember that. Yeah, that was years ago, but that was one of the funnier things from that particular interview.
It started off as a joke because nobody wanted that figure. I thought it was fantastic. I mean,
it was a good figure.
I'm a sucker for blonde chicks.
Hey, look.
And so I'd find it, man. Nobody would buy it, so I'd find it at Walgreens and all that for $5. I'm like, why not? Next thing I know, I had like 30 of them. I'm like, oh, it looked cool though. I ain't gonna lie.
It's a decent custom base too, if you need more female figures, right? But what's funny is I got another friend who's also a collector. He runs Crashbox Customs, mixed dioramas and whatnot. But he has a collection of Constable Zuvios from the Black Series in the same way. Like, they were everywhere. Nobody wanted them. And he actually has a little glass display case. It's probably like a, 10 by 8 box. And it's just crammed full of Zuvios. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
He actually had a Zuvio drive. It's like, if you find a Zuvio, send it to me. I'll pay it for the $5 or whatever it is.
Man,
And it was
that's
hilarious.
exactly what was happening too. Fans, Dewdawg Pound members, no joke. They'd be like, "Hey, Dewdawg, I found one." It became a game, dude. They were like, "Let me send you this." And
Yes.
same exact thing with Crashbox. It was just a fun little, whatever, It was funny.
And I have not been as quote unquote as fortunate to have a meme in such a way, at least in that manner. And I guess I'm okay with that because I don't have a pile of figures I don't know what to do with. Because
It's a blessing for you not to have it. Yeah,
exactly, that's what I'm looking at. It's a negative blessing, so to speak. It's like it's a terrible problem to have when people like you so much they want to send you stuff, but then they send you useless things as a joke. Well, actually, you know what? I take that back, because I did have a particular friend who thought it would be interesting to, I sent him some figures for review purposes and purchase perfect. I said like, hey, you need one of these. Here you go. So I sent him some stuff for review, and then because I sent something along kind of as a joke. It was still a good thing, but I sent it along kind of as a joke. He sent me back my stuff, and then included 2 General Lando Calrissians from the Black Series that somebody had bought for him as a joke, so he passed them on to me. So that started out what we now call Landoing. So if you have one, you have to send it to someone. So I sent one to my co-host RIKKI whenever I sent him some World of Nintendo figures. So I Landoed him, and then I still have the other one. So I haven't Landoed anybody else just yet. So be wary if you buy anything from me.
Stuff like that makes it fun.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I made the rules. I said, look, you can't throw it away. You can't open it. You have to pass it on. It's like it's like a bad chain letter, but really you don't do anything but lose a figure you didn't want in the first place. But it was just funny that that someone else's joke.
Yeah, I guess it's beat up men on card.
Yes. Oh, they're beat up. They were beat up to begin with, because you could tell they were like the $5 leftovers from Walgreens or whatever, or even Target. Because I saw those Landos on Target shelves forever, just peg warming. Because for some reason my Target still has so my Target still has 2 separate Star Wars sections. The one that's like in the Disney section, and then the one that's over with the regular figures. It makes no sense that they have them separated like that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah, because not every Target has like that dedicated Disney owned section with like the Toy Stories, the Mickeys, and all the other figures. The Lightyear figures that didn't move at all. They just filled up shelves forever. I like that movie, but those figures didn't go anywhere at all, man.
Yeah, the only figure that obviously it didn't go to Target was that SH Figuarts Buzz Lightyear. I didn't never own it, but it looked pretty incredible.
Yeah, and you're
talking about a high-end action figure, though.
Now you can find Figuarts at Target, but it's usually the anime stuff. So like they've
Dragon
got
Ball,
Naruto, Demon Slayer now, I guess, if they're going down that. And now they have that cheaper anime line that's like the same thing as like the Dragon Stars, but now they're doing other stuff. The really cheap. Like,
speaking of that, because
go ahead.
I know nothing of anime and all that. To be honest, I mean, I know what it is, and I know obviously pop culture. But as far as that, I think it's the Demon Slayer. Who's the? Because I literally have no idea. Who's the guy with the a rat head with a sword or something? He's like a samurai, like
that's
squirrel or rat or whatever.
It's a pig. That's Inosuke. He has a boar.
Oh, it's a pig.
Yeah, okay. It's a boar's head. So he grew up on the side of a mountain, and like that was the pig lord. It was like the strongest creature on the side of the mountain. So so he basically grew up in the wilds, and got to the point where he was strong enough that he killed the lord of the mountain, which was the pig, and then he wears its head as a mask, which is funny because he's actually like a really good looking dude underneath, which is why it's hilarious that he wears the mask the whole time. But also no one seems to know how he sees anything through it, because it's still got the eyes of the pig. You can't see through the nose
of the pig,
and he's got like these super senses from growing out in the woods. So he's a really hilarious character, and he's like really strong as well. But like, because there's like
it shows you how the power of sorry, not trying to speak over you. The power of character design, because there again, I know nothing about it, but that's the only thing. Like if I was going to buy a figure, I'd buy him. Just I don't know nothing about him, but I would definitely buy him and have him on the shelf over here.
And because he grew up out in the wild, he doesn't know what like modern stuff is. Like he knows what a house is and things. But one of the more hilarious parts is whenever they do the Mugen Train movie, he's never seen a train. He thinks it's like a big metal god. And like he says he's going to conquer it by the end, which irony with the movie, but like because he's about as bumpkin as you can get. And our other two protagonists, they grew up normal. One's just a weirdo, the other one is just the hero. But it's an interesting it's an interesting show because most of the time you get like one hero and then their friends, right? And like the one hero gets like all the main traits that you would get out of any kind of hero. So I watched the thing and it broke it down that these three guys, as they come together as their own little triad of, protagonists, they basically have like one or two traits of one main protagonist. So they each have a couple of things that the others lack. So together, all three of them are like the perfect protagonist, but they have to rely on each other and their relationship to each other to kind of be one complete, so to speak, protagonist. That's why they work. They work so well off each other, because like one has all the confidence and the knowledge. One is extremely powerful but a coward, and the other one is brave but stupid. So it's like you get all those things to balance each other out and make up for what the other ones do, and they each kind of have an understanding of each other, in a way they don't understand themselves. So it's pretty cool. It's a fun show, and it's written really well. The characters are really well done. I mean, even if you're not into anime, like it's just kind of a good show,
Right? And I'll check it out.
Yeah, and they also make you feel sympathetic for the villains because the villains are demons, which are generally speaking cursed humans that have evolved over however much time due to their curse. And now they have these powers and they have to drink human blood or eat humans to survive. And then they make you sympathize with the bad guys because they rehumanize them within context. So it's pretty. And it's a good show, and like the third season just finished a couple weeks ago, so now we gotta wait again. It sucks.
So it's fairly new as far as
anime,
I guess.
Yes, in the way of anime, yes, but the manga itself is already done. It's just taken a long time with COVID and everything to get the anime done. So I think the manga wrapped up like 2 years ago. So they're running that far behind. There's like 2 or 3 main arcs until it ends, and assuming every season is a complete arc, so we got at least 3 more seasons of 8 to 10 episodes, depending.
Right.
So it's a good show. It's fun. It's not for everybody, but not everything is, anyways, right?
Oh, of course. Everything ain't for everybody. It's just like these action figures, man.
Yeah, and
it is what it is, brother.
And it's funny, like, it's one of these weird things. So, like, I pared down my collection from what it used to be, but I expanded the things that I reduced to. So I got rid of Marvel Legends, I got rid of Black Series, focused more on Power Rangers, and more on NECA Ninja Turtles. So now, this whole side right here, this entire Billy, is nothing but Power Rangers Lightning collections. And that one over there is almost entirely NECA Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
It's like, so, but whereas before I had several shelves of Marvel Legends, several shelves of Power Rangers, several shelves of Black Series, all that kind of stuff. And of course I have my Transformers behind me here. But even that's overflowing realistically. But I've gotten to the point now where I'm going to have to start reorganizing or maybe selling off some of the bigger stuff so the shelves fit better, that I can get more figures in to build out more displays, because
it's always the way of the figure game, brother. Trying to figure all that out.
Well, I also have wasted space in here. I don't know if you remember my old room where I had like a huge wall of Detolfs behind me with all my Gundam stuff.
I remember that.
Yeah, so when we moved, I got rid of most of those Detolfs and then boxed up all that Gundam collection. So the 4 remaining Detolfs are right here to my left, and they're just filled with the boxes of Gundams. but because there's so much, I have no clue I can't display it all. I don't really want to keep it all.
Yeah.
And now I've got wasted space. So, I have to think about what I'm going to do in the future, because if I part with all the Gundam stuff somehow, I don't know how. It's not like they're not action figures. They're not that easy to sell.
Yeah, right. That's a unique.
It's a unique problem.
Thing.
And then even after I do that, I either have to find things to display in the detolfs or sell the detolfs, which I can get a pretty penny for now, assuming I can get them down the stairs safely, and replace them
exploding.
Yeah, or just shattering, getting them down the stairs.
Yeah.
The other thing, if I do that, then I could get probably 2 more full-size Billies in here, and then fill those up with whatever I have in the future. It would just depend. Like, I did all the measurements when we moved in, and I've balanced it about as good as I can. So each side of the room mirrors, although there's a small discrepancy due to the windowsill being off center on the wall. So like,
same thing in here.
Oh yeah, because you got So like, I've got like a little bump out on one side that I don't have on the other. So things are off by roughly 2.5 inches side to side. So if I were to put a wall of Billies there, they would have to be like at a diagonal, like I'd have to angle it so it looks complete.
I don't even know how I'm pointing. That window behind me, it ain't even in the middle of the room. It's like at the wall, like the back wall, and then a window. It's not like you could put shelves on each side of the window.
Yeah, and
I have no idea.
And so this is a huge. This is like a huge 6 foot by. It's almost square. It's like a 7 foot by 6 foot window. It's huge. Takes up most of the wall, but it wasn't centered. So it's off by 2 inches, 3 on one side. So even though I have my stuff balanced as best I could, like I said, now I got a bump out. It's actually on this side. It's where the bump out is.
It's still gonna be off.
Yeah. So even if if I filled that with Billies, I would angle the ones off to the side over here so that they look normal, like there's no seam, but it would be angled from one side to the other because it's off by a couple inches. It would be funny. But I don't even know if that's what I want to do. It's a weird thing. Like, I want to get a storage place. Yeah. I want to get a storage place to get all my empty boxes out of here, and then maybe turn the closet into another display spot. Since I kind of don't really do reviews anymore, even though the name is still Shoky Reviews, I kind of just build stuff now. Dioramas, other things like that. But or at least I'm going to. Haven't necessarily started that. But as for reviewing, it's I don't really need the review desk anymore, like I've had for years. So if I empty the closet out, get rid of the middle shelf, that gives me a lot of extra room in there that I can just have certain things on display. Because I've got my Ghostbusters Proton Pack out in the foyer right here because I don't have room for it in here.
The HasLab one.
The HasLab one, yeah. So that's huge. Yeah. And then I've got my Ecto-1 out there, which is massive. The used to be Eagle Moss, now it's not. The build your own Ecto-1.
Is that 1/6 scale?
No, that's the Blitzway. The Blitzway is 1/6. This is 1/10. Now, if you had told me that all those years later there would be a really nicely pre-built 1/6 scale one, I would buy that instead of doing this one, because I would just spend that money in one shot, get yelled at by the wife, but I'd have a complete thing that I didn't have to build slowly over the course of 3 years. Which, by the way, that's part of my week. I finally got my newest parts shipped today, or at least charged for them, I should say. So if you're unaware, Eagle Moss went under last year. And the company,
I had no idea.
Yeah, so Eagle Moss as a whole company went under because they had so many licenses and they were producing so much stuff. But with COVID, half the world shut down. They couldn't ship anything.
Right.
And that's oversimplifying it. But basically, they just went bankrupt. So the company that was actually making this stuff bought their licenses to continue selling. So the Eagle Moss brand is gone.
So all of the new company's parts still goes with what you were building.
Yes. So let me look at it real quick. Because it used to be a UK based company. Now it's a Spanish based company. Where is it? I gotta scroll down far enough. Right there. Yeah, so now it's D'Agostino Publishing is the one who does it now. That's and the website and what stuff is called Fan Home. You probably see the ads on Facebook. Because they're really trying to push these things. Because
So
now
you love more like actually building stuff, hence the Gundam stuff. And
yeah,
all of
and
that.
it was fun until it got difficult. Like when they started sending way too small of screws or the instructions were crap. You know, those things that's what made it worse. But the other side of it, like say you wanted to buy like the little figures or statues and stuff like that Eagle Moss did, I think it's under Master Replicas. So Master Replicas, who was the one making those, now owns those licenses and is selling that stuff separately. So, you know, Eagle Moss basically disappeared, and all the companies that were already doing their stuff basically just started marketing it directly. So. It's sad, but now after a year of waiting, I finally get my parts going again, and I'm five steps from the end. That's the part that sucks. Literally,
So close,
and they died. I was just like, no. But the good news,
so far away.
yeah, but the thing is, like, they had so many things that had just started. Like they were doing their Enterprise D from Star Trek. They had their Titanic going. They had the James Bond Aston Martin, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. So they had all these things going all at once. The Eleanor from Gone in 60 Seconds. You know, all kinds of really awesome vehicles and stuff like that you could build. The Titanic I thought was interesting. It's like, do you have to build the whole interior? I mean, it's just like one big boat, right?
That is interesting.
Yeah, so... But I'm just happy. You know, it cost me more than the old parts used to, but just to actually get it rolling again, I'm happy. What else? So just going in with stuff I got. I just opened a box I got from BBTS. It's been here since last week. You ever get that where the boxes just sit there and wait? I mean, you're significantly more busy than I am, but like you got figures.
Too much.
Like what's your current backlog of stuff sitting around that you haven't even opened yet? Like, is it bad?
Dude, actually, some of it I literally just did it just to be on here tonight. But
oh yeah,
this guy's been sitting here like 2 weeks. The Mayfix Scarlet Spidey.
That's a cool one.
And I took him out of the box just to show everybody tonight or whatever, So,
yeah.
But him and then the Jada Toys, which obviously SDCC is going on at the moment as we speak. But
yes,
they're doing they got the Street Fighter license.
I just got Ryu. Yeah. So I'm waiting on Chun-Li. So that's the Fei Long and the Ryu there.
So I just literally walked into Target and both of these guys are sitting there. I'm like, yes, sir.
Yeah. So
that's home with me.
That's what always happens to me is like I pre-order from BBTS, and then as soon as it ships, I walk into Target and it's there on the shelf. I'm like, oh, could have saved a little bit.
Now, what I didn't wait to get home, I found this morning at Walmart.
What do you got?
But I just went ahead. You ever got so excited, just opened it in the parking lot?
Sometimes.
Like a little 5-year-old. But man,
the Rock.
Look at that. But not just any of them, but this is late 90s. With
the mutton chops, the Elvis look, yeah.
Man, come on, dog. Anyways.
I'm glad.
I didn't even get into the vehicle. I was like, I'm just going to rip this open.
Can't even wait. The only other thing I got. The only thing I got today. The other thing I got today was the newest Dinobot from Studio Series, the Snarl. And he'd been sitting in my pile of loot for like a month. It's like I know more stuff is coming. I am not shipping until other stuff comes in, but I have yet to find him in the wild. So I'm glad I got him where I did. Even though
So the real question is, are you going to get that $1,500 Grandma lot?
No.
They announced early this morning with the 80-something motors and all. I'm like, wow.
Well, the Robosen Grimlock, that was one of the things we are going to talk about if we had time. The Robosen Grimlock is amazing. It is not $1,500 amazing. But they also didn't show it like next to Prime or anything. If he's significantly larger than Prime, then maybe. But, dude, that thing transforms exactly the way the G1 toy did, but on its own, which is crazy.
Yes. That's crazy.
It's
crazy.
And it lights up,
And then they recorded
The original
Not
dude.
just the original voice actor, but they got the original voice actor new recordings. So
Yes.
they got him in to actually do fresh recordings. Anyway, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and it looks beautiful, but it also looks a little too stylized. You know what I mean? It actually looks a bit like the studio series, not like the G1. You know, so it's a little weird. It's got that extra styling, a little bit less smooth, and I like the smoother look to it. But I mean, it's a really cool idea. I think it's also kind of similar to the MP, in a way, but not $1,500 good. No. Because
Nah,
like
man.
the Prime with the trailer, I could see that being worth $1,500 because that is a whole lot of trailer, you know. But no.
Yeah.
Because so SDCC is currently going on, and then there was TFCon Toronto this past weekend, so lots and lots of Transformers reveals. And then today Hasbro dropped a buttload of mainline Transformers reveals. I'm not even going to remotely get into all that stuff because I don't care about any of it. It's like I get my Dinobots and I'm done. I don't need anything else from Hasbro. Like I sort of need the Nemesis, but not really because I've got the Arc sitting behind me right here. But I want that as a Legends display. I want to make an Exodus from Cybertron display. So it's just kind of sitting there like in the dome ready to launch and then have, a few Autobots scurrying around. But but the Nemesis, I don't need that. It's cool, but I would never transform it. I mean, like this.
Well, I'm not a bot guy, but I do have a bot shelf. Though. Look at that.
Oh yeah. You got him right there. Oh, you got that Metroplex.
Ain't nothing too crazy. Not too crazy, but
Yeah. Well, if you need,
you gotta have a couple big boys,
Yeah. I mean, if you want a Scorponok, I might be selling him soon. And that
beefy.
And that's with the DNA upgrade kits. Let's see what else. Oh, I did say I was not really doing reviews anymore, but I did a review the other day for the first time in like 7 months. But it was because I had no other way to like show off the thing. Because for the Patreon, which hi patrons who are watching this, so the video version goes to the patrons. Nice. Yes. So I had these figures that are on card, and they're from have you seen the 5.2 Toys Beast Box figures? The little transforming box guys. So they came out with some 3 3/4 like regular action figures that are meant to pair with the animal robot vehicle things. And I got them months ago.
Okay.
And I realized it's like they're so small. There's no good way to show it off the way I normally do my just out of the box reactions. So I said, screw it. They've been sitting literally right there on the desk all this time. So I fired up the lights and I actually filmed the proper review of them, from opening them up and everything. Because I always loved when I did action figure reviews was making the mint and sealed box nerds cry by ripping open whatever.
Yeah, yeah, those are always awesome.
Yeah, because it's I'm sorry, like I only have like one or two things.
It's easy to trigger them guys too, man.
Oh yeah. But I only have like one or two things that I really have sealed, and it's just because there's no reason to open them. It's not like they're going to be valuable or anything, but like they just look good on card, and it's nothing crazy either. It's a couple of like Hot Wheels and stuff like that, and they're somewhere. Like they're like.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you though, as far as no reviews and stuff. Like I'm going, I think I just got burned out. I guess going 7 years in a row, just review, and then the fire kind of burned out. No. Of course, now I'm having 3 kids later too. That's a whole other, so
that's
things
right.
change,
Yeah.
life happens, whatever.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how your boys are doing.
Oh, they're doing fantastic, thankfully.
Aren't they pretty much at the perfect?
They're getting ready.
Are they perfectly rambunctious
age? Because they love what I do. We wrestle all the time. I mean, it's that age where they're high energy.
Yeah.
Now the 4-year-old buddy, he's seriously high energy.
Dude, okay, you just made me feel old because I remember when that baby was born.
Yeah, he's 4 now. So
wow, the time has really flown. COVID will do that to you. But yeah, no, it's like, and I want to make a meme. It's like the guy and his girlfriend meme, where he's looking back over the shoulder, and I want it to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I want it to be me with live streams and podcasts looking back at reviews. It's like, so I'm gonna make that one. I was like, I've had the time, but I've been lazy. And like today, I did edit the podcast and stuff like that. I edited the one that's coming out tomorrow because I already did the one for the Patreon, but I got lazy. Like I finished that on Tuesday. Today's Thursday. I just didn't do anything.
Just remember, if you're gonna create a meme, just make sure you get it approved by Zuckerberg.
No, I'm not worried. So I will for the patrons, I will share what he's talking about. So yesterday, in fact, the way you ended up here today was because
this is how fresh this is.
Yeah, this is so fresh.
24 hours.
Yesterday morning, well, midday. I'm checking out a meme that you posted, which is the old school Velociraptor thinking meme. What did it say?
It said, I'm trying to remember. It said something like, and I was just messing around, when I made it. It said, I wonder what the Christians are going to do that got saved under the non-King James versions of the Bible.
Yeah.
I guess Gabriel's going to just
stop them at the pearly gates.
Well, apparently, I had no idea. And you come in there, he's like, man, you removed that? I was like, what are you talking about? And I get back on there, and they fact check my own. I'm like, what is going on right here?
They fact checked and removed his meme. Can't even see it anymore.
Wow. Which made it even funnier to me.
Well, the funny thing is, so I'm in the bathroom at work, literally sitting there doing my business, scrolling on Facebook, and I see this meme, and I'm like, who is out here posting this archaic meme format? And then I go, oh, it's Dewdawg. And then I read it, and which makes it even funnier because you're talking about the not just the King James version, but older version of the Bible. And I'm thinking, this is a layered meme. So it's a really ancient meme. It's a dinosaur talking about the Bible. It's like, I was just like, and I was.
Hey, it was deep, bro.
It was deep, and I was just thinking about. I was making the comment that said, "Imagine using an archaic form of or meme format for this joke." And when I hit send, it said, "This is no longer available. It has been removed." And I'm like, "What?"
Apparently there was 3 people you tried to, and then 2 other people. Yeah. I have to this day will never know who or what was said. I don't know.
So I will post it. It'll be on the Patreon.
With the dinosaur.
Yeah, it's extinct. So you're joking. But the irony was you said y'all don't block my account. That's why it was even funnier.
So, I actually forgot about that. You're exactly right.
You literally put
the
y'all.
Actual caption I put, y'all don't block my.
So he didn't get blocked, but he got he got fact checked into oblivion on a meme. So Dewdawg is no stranger.
And everybody obviously watching, whether it's Patreon or not.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But, come on, what do you see on social media? I mean, there's disgusting, ridiculous stuff. And then that gets fact checked and removed. I don't know. It was just like, wow.
That's why it was funny.
It was too early in the day, man.
Removed is one thing, but fact checked. That was the absurd. That was fine. Somebody was offended, so they remove it because of blah blah blah. Not your freedom of speech. Not your freedom of speech today, son.
Right.
But the fact that they fact checked the idea that no. Christians would definitely be able to get into heaven regardless of which version of the Bible. I was just like, what are they fact checking? It's like, come on,
what
Zuck.
are y'all doing, man?
Oh, well, you know what it was? You posted a lizard person. Zuck got offended by the lizard person meme.
Good point.
Yeah,
talking about his people.
You're talking about his people, and they definitely believe. The lizard people definitely believe they're going to make it in under the King James version. But God, that was so bad. But just everything about that. So that got us talking again. So I'm like, I need to get you on the podcast because we've been talking about it forever. You were streaming with Nate a while back, and I was like, I got to get you on the podcast one of these days. And, here we are literally 3 months later, I think. Let's see.
Took you long enough. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, dude, it's like the hard part right now is actually just getting the podcast together because we're so scattered and like everyone's schedule is kind of random right now. So like just getting our normal people together has been difficult. Like, so the fact that you were available so quickly, realistically, was awesome. And I've been meaning to talk to you anyways, just because.
And honestly, it was that old saying, strike where the iron's hot. So you literally asked right on time because I literally had nothing. I was like, okay, if we're going to do it, we need to do it like this week.
Yeah, if we wait, it's going to suck. And then next week, I got
another 3 months.
Exactly. And then next week, I've got a podcast with somebody else on his channel. So, like, you can't do it next week. So it'd be a little bit difficult. So when this comes out, I will have recorded that podcast with Dante. So YouTube time travel situation here. Talking about things in the future. So I did want to mention that last episode we talked about The Sound of Freedom because like it was just gaining more and more and more steam in the box office, and today it hit 100 million in box office sales. So you know we went and saw it this past weekend, and I can attest it is an awesome movie. It's like, not just because the message is great, but because it was actually just a good movie. Like, it's not superheroes. It's not crazy out of this world stuff.
It's crazy, man.
It was just a good movie on a good subject. It was moving. Like, the theater was like, from the get-go, the theater was silent. Like, normally you hear, you go to a movie in public, and normally there's some kind of din. Some type of little discussion, things you just always hear. Somebody slurping their soda.
White noise or something.
Something. Digging in their popcorn. Dude, like, only like right at the beginning, our neighbors right next to us were digging in their popcorn. Like, after the first 5 minutes, it was dead silent. Dead silent in that theater until it was over. And like...
Now, we're going to go see it. I hadn't yet, but I know
definitely.
Jim Caviezel's a fantastic actor anyways.
And I saw an interview last week with the actual guy, Tim Ballard, and then the director. And they talked about it as like one of the main reasons is the reason they went with Jim Caviezel is that he can act with just his face. He can emote so much with his eyes and his face that he actually doesn't have that many lines in the movie. Like,
I believe it.
Other characters talk way more than he does. He just emotes so well. And like learning like certain things about the movie, like, what is actually real, and some of the things were slightly more amplified for movie's sake.
Right.
But one interesting story. So when you see this movie, know that it was actually shot on location for the most part, where the things actually happened, which is really interesting.
Now that's wild.
It gets wilder.
I didn't know that.
It gets wilder. So they're shooting down in Colombia, right? They've just gotten Jim Caviezel signed on, and his wife is also an actress, but she plays on Narcos. I forget which one of the Narcos shows, but she was worried that because of what they do in Hollywood, their shows, that if they go down to Colombia to film, Jim's life is going to be in danger, right? So Tim Ballard, the guy who actually did all this, he's on board the whole way. He's there for the production. The actual guy. He says, look, tell your wife we're going to have 30 ex-Navy SEALs down there to help protect us at all times. And as soon as he said that, she gave him the green light. They went down there to do the thing. So he's got ex-Navy SEALs protecting them at all times in plain clothes, constantly on set. However, after a few weeks of shooting, half of their Navy SEALs disappeared. Real strange, right? No idea where they've gone. They haven't been told what happened. They're just suddenly down like 10 or 12 Navy SEALs. Maybe a little bit more. And so they wrap up the movie, and the director is sitting there, and he's going through like the last few things, post-production, stuff like that, still down in Colombia. And he gets a newspaper, and it's talking about this sting coordinated with the local police that busted a child trafficking ring in the area. And they're like, hold on. We're making this movie, and now I'm seeing an article about exactly what happened that we're making the movie about. What is happening here? Turns out, while their Navy dudes were out there just scouting and guarding, they happened into more child trafficking and stuff like that going on, and they joined with local police to go and rescue like 200 more kids while the movie was being filmed. Like that's insane. And like on this interview where I'm watching this, they said, "There's your next movie," and they said, it's like, so Sound of Freedom 2 is going to be the true story of how more kids were saved on the filming of Sound of Freedom. It's crazy, brother. So when you go watch this movie, know that at least that is happening somewhere in the background of the latter half of this movie. So that is just an amazing story. It's like, what? So great. And theater was packed. You know, a few people didn't show up even though their tickets were sold. So, you know, there's that. And then they have the program on their website where you can buy tickets to pay it forward, which is awesome. So there's millions of free tickets out there for people. If you just want to go claim it, just go to the website, pick your theater near you. You'll get the tickets. You go to the theater, you see the movie because it's already been paid for. Yeah, it's awesome. Which also attributes.
I mean, either way, I was going to go pay for it and watch it. But
yeah,
check that
so
out too.
So if you get free tickets, go ahead and buy some extra ones and send them forward.
There you go.
You know, for anybody who
like
wants
in the
them.
coffee line, you know,
it's literally pay it forward. Yep, exactly. So, but I figured that was probably the most important thing that we've watched in the last few days. I mean, like I'm caught up on Secret Invasion, which is good, quote unquote. It's fine for a Marvel show.
It's I mean, it's got me like some of the last few.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even watched, you know. But I'm talking about Disney Plus in general.
Yeah.
Like Marvels. I don't know. The first episode of Marvels, I thought was actually I enjoyed it. It was real colorful and different and just kind of whatever. And then it Miss Marvel fell off.
Yeah.
Miss Marvel, my bad.
Yeah.
And Miss Marvel.
Yeah, you're not too far.
I was like, you know what? At first, I said the first episode. I was like, all right, well, and then it just and then honestly, this might shock people. I don't know. Good.
No, I was gonna say what might shock us.
Oh, I was saying even Moon Knight for some reason, and I love Moon Knight, the comic.
Ooh, that couldn't get you?
Action figures, but dude, I just couldn't get into the.
Dude, Moon Knight was good. Moon Knight was good. Like it was slow at the beginning and a little weird, but it was good. It was really good.
Maybe that's what I shouldn't have gave up on it. I guess.
Yeah, you got to get 3 in, 3 out. That's the rule. If you can get 3 deep, finish it. If you can't, then don't bother. But if you're 3 away from the end of it, you gotta finish it. You know. So if you can't get 3 in, then don't bother. But if you get
jump back in there.
Yeah, Moon Knight was actually really good, especially by the end. But there were some annoying tropes to it that really get annoying by the end. But it's that way they could build it up to do more later. Without any concept of if they're going to have anything later, because they never even signed him on to come back to play Moon Knight. So I was like, oh, that's not great. And now with all the shakeups at Disney and Marvel, who knows what's going to happen in the future? But
ain't no telling now.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, they should not have shown off the trailer for the Marvels because it already lets you know how Secret Invasion is going to end. It's like, because Nick Fury's already still up in the space station, already hovering around Earth for that movie, and he's already cleaned up.
Like, okay.
Yeah, it's like, whoops. It's like, no, you should have held on to that trailer till this show was over. I don't know what they were thinking.
Over.
It's like, that's how you lead into the next
Obviously,
thing.
they were not thinking.
No. They did not figure that one out at all. That was dumb. Let's see. Was there anything else? Yeah, there was. So last week I talked about a show we were watching on Netflix called The End of the Fucking World. And it's a really weird show, but we finished the second season of it. And the second season was more compelling than the first season. As a weird, like, a very strange teenage drama, like very kind of small, contained between like 2 or 3 main characters and then everything happening around them. But it's all about, like, relationships and then, like, knowing yourself. Because you hear the inner dialogue of the main characters. You know, so you hear what they say and then you hear what they think. and sometimes that doesn't line up, and then you hear the other person what they think and then what they say.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it's an interesting show, and it's so weird. But then I'm watching this and I'm like, this is how people are. It's like, it seems weird from the outside because the initial premise was weird, but then you realize it's like, these are just broken people who are broken due to circumstance, and they're figuring out who they are through the brokenness together. It's.
And you're right. That is how people are. I mean, it is. You got some that are super genuine and are truly saying what they're feeling or thinking.
Yeah.
And then you got those that are doing exactly what you said. They're just saying blah blah blah, and on the inside they're thinking something completely different.
Yeah, and because they're teenagers, they're awkward and weird to begin with. Like, so like they're trying to figure out each other back and forth throughout the situation. So it's an interesting show. It was on BBC for a while and then ended up on Netflix. So I liked it. Like, I didn't know if I was gonna like it, and technically I missed most of the first episode, but I was hooked going into the second episode, and I was just like, okay, you're not watching this without me, so save it. It's like, when a show can hook, when you've missed an entire intro to the characters and you get hooked, that was an impressive show. But I'm a weirdo, so I don't know.
Now I'm about to say that is, it's good when you miss that and it still got you hooked in. Yeah, for sure.
But I mean, to be fair, I am a weirdo, so you never know. The other thing we did watch that was also super intriguing. So the wifey got into Netflix documentaries, and this one was called The Unknown Cave of Bones. Dude, this one, like, basically in Africa, there was another relative of humanity, so it was another Homo species,
Mm-hmm.
and they were I forgot I think it's like hominid, something like that. It's like the area they were found, kind of. And they're smaller. They're very similar to us, similar build. The skeletons look very similar, but they have more ape-like faces and heads. And so they only found them like just kind of randomly in this one small area of Africa. And then, there you go.
I think I blinked that.
Yeah, something happened there. So they find this tribe, so to speak, but then there's this random cave expedition that they dig into, and they start finding skeletons. And they're like, we're like 50 feet down in a random cave in the side of a mountain, and they're finding skeletons, like complete skeletons.
So this is a true documentary.
This is real. Yeah, this is 100% real. And
okay.
Yeah, and the thing is what they discover is that this is a graveyard for this species. And they said, as far as we know, humans are the only ones who practice burial. And now we found another species that's older than us, technically speaking. And we discovered inside a mountain, we discovered this secret burial chamber of this other species.
Oh, you talking about freaky now? That's,
dude. It was,
walk up on something like that and your whole
but like the crazy, like, I'm not going to give it all away. I do want people to watch it, but like, I'm getting chills talking about it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch.
So we date humanity back 10 to 20,000 years, and for the most part as modern quote unquote humans, as we know us, before we were like just too primal to really be, our species existed, but not like we currently kind of do. What they found is upwards of 300,000 years old, or something like that. Maybe I got my number wrong, but it's way older than the stuff that we know. So like, it could have been at some point, maybe one weird calamity here or there, a temperature change, we survived and they didn't, but they were basically on a very parallel evolution path to us. And like, so it was us,
dude, that's wild.
The other like hominids, like that, the very famous, was it Lucy, was like that very famous one. And then Lucy. So they were the other kind of parallel humanoid that existed in the same kind of area that we did. And then this one, which is much smaller, so they're like maybe like 3 feet tall, give or take. but they basically look similar to us. They walk similar to us, but they're developed differently. So it's a really, really
I
interesting
don't think
show.
Lucy and them was burying people, but this
No, that's the crazy part. And so, like I said, I won't give it all away, but go watch it. Like I said, it's called Unknown Cave of Bones. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
It was definitely worth a watch. Like,
on Netflix.
Once again, she started watching it. I came in from doing whatever I was doing, and I'm like, "What is this?" So I watched for like a good hour, and then I had to come back in here to stream. And then I went back in there. I was like, "Okay, how did it end?"
Like, woman, what you watching?
Yeah, well, like, because I was super intrigued, and so but I only had so much time, and then I had to come back in here. And then I was like, okay, what did I miss? Well, how did it end? It's like, because like it kept going, like they kept finding more and more stuff, and then like I came back in for like the last, I don't know, 10 minutes. So like it was very interesting, like, and the guys who were like studying them have been following this like tribe, so to speak, for like the longest time. They're the ones who discovered them. They've like know all about them. Like they actually pull out one of the skeletons and like piece it together on a table to show it, and it's like the actual things, like not like a fake, so it's really friggin' cool.
And short, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it is really friggin' cool. Yeah, basically like a 3-foot little humanoid that has a slightly more monkey head, and they had longer arms than us.
Yeah.
So they were probably more arboreal in theory. They might have been more, in the trees.
Right.
Made better for climbing, while we were better for running around on the ground. So interesting.
Right.
So, but that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for my week for the most part. So you're new to the show. You've never been here, but same difference. If there's anything you got, obviously we saw some of your figures a minute ago. But if there's anything else you got, you don't have to show it, but at least tell. And then if you've caught anything movie wise or TV wise or anything else you got going on, because I know you got lots of church stuff going on too.
Yeah, we our church, man, we kind of did a revamp, and kind of a different direction. Used to, for years, they were super like traditional and this and that, or a little more traditional,
Mm-hmm.
And then we started going a little more contemporary, I guess, if you want to say that. Modern now, I don't know, whatever word people's got all these words and lingo and all that.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was fantastic, dude. So 9 months ago, this is how fast it has. This just proves how we made the right decisions, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We was running, I don't know, man, maybe 60, 70 people, which, don't get me wrong, it's great. Anybody, 60, 70 people want to come and listen to you preach. I mean, that's awesome. That's humbling. Well, this new direction we've taken, man, like the last 8 months or 9 months, when I say doubled, bro, like I'm talking 120-ish, 130.
Wow.
Right in there, like on a consistent, like every service.
Wow.
So now it's blowing our minds because it's just how God's moving His Spirit, just drawing people, by us making that decision, which is always scary when you're trying to, that old saying, stepping out on faith, getting out of your comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
So all these years they've been in their comfort zone, and in the moment we kind of jumped out into the unknown, I guess. And there you go. So right now it's pretty awesome on the church front, but it's always exciting when growth, just like anything. But.
Exactly. And the thing is, I think part of that is a symptom of the world, the way the world has become. Like, people have lacked something in their core, and they've been trying to fill it with garbage. They've been trying to fill it with whatever, and then like whatever BS faith they can grab onto, like whether that's whatever mandates were thrown down. They're like, no, those are the rules we got to follow. We got to do this, we got to bow at the altar of Fauci, and then like anything else, like. But now, like, people
12 masks, man.
Yeah, and people exactly to mask it up. But like, I think people have been craving substance, and they haven't had it. They've had lies, they've had BS, they've had emptiness. Like, just you keep eating something that's empty. When you're empty, it doesn't fill you up. So and I think there has been a bit of revival towards whatever religion, honestly, like, because I think people have just been lacking some type of moral basis and faith in something actual, and And I think that would be a big reason why your church is seeing growth, especially after becoming slightly more contemporary. But also, like, I've seen other people, like Catholic Church has been growing a bit, despite all the weird, bad things happen there. But even Muslims have seen an explosion, people converting to their religion, and I don't mean like in the bad way, the extremist types, but like just people have
right. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but people have lacked the structure, and maybe you see that more from the pulpit, but it just seems like that is something meaningful. Not to mention a sense of community, especially being locked away for 2.5 years.
Dude, you just literally, when I say took the words out of my mouth, like, I mean, word for word, I was about to say the exact same thing, dude. Like, everybody just went.
I'm reading your mind. It's like I'm just reading your mind. I didn't actually need you here.
Then it's like, just talking to myself. I mean,
it's like I mean,
that's what I was about to say.
And
you're right, though. That's what I feel like. 100% correct. I mean, but Anyway, so as far as that's concerned, and then work. I mean, everybody that in the Dewdawg pound knows. I mean, I'm super transparent, man. Been a pastor for years. I've been a plumber for 20-something years. I've never been ashamed to tell folks like that kind of stuff. I know some people get kind of skittish on. Now, I have had, if I was going to tell a new influencer, wannabe, whatever, like somebody wants to start their own YouTube or Instagram, whatever it might be. It may not be action figures or what me and him does, but whatever it might be, I would definitely suggest kind of not be ashamed, but definitely be wise with things. My mistake in the toy community specifically, I was too transparent.
A little bit.
And the thing is, people say they love people being real, but actually they don't really like them being real. They want them to be transparent. Nah, not really. So what happened with me, like not getting into nothing crazy, everybody already knows it don't matter. But so my problem was I was too transparent. So people knew my church name. People knew where I worked.
Yeah.
And so they didn't just, it became personal attacks. So, I mean, they literally lost their marbles. And I mean, we already know all that. But I'm saying, if you want to start something on Instagram or social media, don't be so transparent. Just be like, hey, I'm this.
Something to
this
yourself.
Is what I am, not where I'm at.
Yeah,
right. And I messed up 8 years ago telling everybody, I'm pastoring at this church and I'm a plumber at this company.
Yep.
That was the worst thing.
Dude, the stories you told me over the years about the crap people have done because of toys. Like,
toys now.
Pre-COVID, every major event that has happened in the last 4 years. The things that people were attacking you for were toys. Just like opinions on toys.
Or grown men that have beards like me and you, like them kind of folks, like blow your mind.
They can grow a beard, but not any common sense.
Or decency.
Exactly.
But the problem, and y'all know. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say is like
common sense.
I've done a reasonable job of keeping some of my personal aspects secret. Like, people know who kind of need to know, and then like I dance around as much as I can, because one, not just because of that aspect, but because like I can be fired from my job just because I talk about it on the internet, and people know where I work, and
right.
Like, I could make one bad post on Facebook, somebody could see where I work, and then it can get back to corporate, and then I get fired for just posting something dumb on Facebook. It has happened.
Right.
And so it's
absolutely.
Excuse me. But it's just like, in your case, that was nuts. Like, I've had people come at me in the comments section, but I've never had someone end run me through a church live stream to come at, that stuff that happened to you was insane, brother. And like,
it was, and unfortunately, it's kind of like me and you sitting here. Obviously, we're considered friends. I consider you my friend. Hopefully, you feel the same.
Of course.
And so, but we're not. There's things we're going to agree with. Obviously, I wouldn't be sitting here on your channel, or your podcast.
Yeah.
No kidding. But at the same time, we also are mature enough, and man enough to understand we're not going to agree on everything, and that is cool. Matter of fact, that's what makes it awesome, because we're not going to be 100% everything.
Yeah.
And the problem with some of these people, they're mentally, they just, I mean, I hate to say mental illness, but let's be real. If you contact somebody's church, something mentally,
place of work,
the clock ain't going all the way to the top of the tower.
Yeah, dude. Like, and you know,
I mean,
mentally ill is one way to put it, but I call it emotionally ill, because they're not in control of their emotions, and
I
then
like that.
they do
You're
something
right.
stupid because they can't control their emotions. Like, and I get it. We all can get heated. We can all get upset about things, but this was something different, and it's far more prevalent now. Like, not your personal attacks, but like the idea of that is significantly more prevalent now, 8 years on, like to the point that a dumb meme that you posted got taken down off of Facebook. Wasn't even offensive technically in any way, shape, or form, but
right. Zero offense. Like,
yeah. And you know what's funny? Another guy I know, Patriot Prime Reviews, I made a joke on his thing because he just turned 50. You know, happy birthday to Jason. He turned 50, and he said at one point, after he changed the name to Patriot Prime Reviews, he had people coming after him just for having his name as Patriot. And like,
I already know.
that is insane. I'm like, and you know, he does Transformers
Insane.
reviews and stuff like that too. So like, you know, he's a really cool dude. I think he lives sort of in your direction, I believe. I don't think he's in Georgia, but I know he's over in that end of the country. He and I did a couple podcasts a couple years ago.
My thing was my mistake. Of course, I say that facetiously. Those of y'all that on here that know what facetious means. It means
they do.
Sarcastic. But anyway,
they're here.
So
they
basically, know. My thing. Yeah, right. So I know they know with you, but what the problem, being. And this is not even being political, by the way. This is just facts. I mean, and there's trust me, we can argue or whatever, but I know what's going on. If you're Southern, you done messed up. If you're white and Southern, oh my God, what? If you're straight white and Southern, or if you're a Christian straight white and Southern, so I was like the whole dynamite package.
You're the
and then the personality. Of course, that
because you're pretty bombastic. You're pretty bombastic, but I say it's fun. But like the idea that you're the exact opposite intersectionality of what is mainstream now. So it's like you are exactly what's wrong to them. So that's why it's messed up.
Exactly what's wrong.
You are exactly.
Yeah. So, anyway, on to
and you forgot to mention successful. You forgot the successful part. So you're a successful,
and that's the sad thing
white,
because
man of God,
man. So you successful from the South, and white and a Christian, That's wow.
Yeah.
Here's what's funny. I do want to share this though on a serious note because it goes hand in hand with what we're talking about.
Sure.
We call them the haters or whatever, but there was this young man. And this is a Latino guy, right? So, and that is very important, by the way. Those y'all say, "What's it got to do with race?" Oh,
in this case, it's
y'all
important.
know it does. So don't act like it don't. But anyway, very important. So this young Latino guy, he's like, when I say young, I'm 42. So this guy is like, dude, he's like 21. So to me, that's young. Anyway,
kid.
He's on there, and I see him on Instagram, right? And he's not ashamed. I can tell him this, whether he's here or not. Awesome kid. So. I see him running his mouth, right, with some, let's just say some folks that, that we all know. But anyway, and so I actually hit him up because I'm that kind of guy, man. I'm going to, I want to know why you're doing what you're doing or saying what you're saying. Let's be man to man. I was raised old school, different morals. I'm like, look, let's go. Let me know. Let's go at it, right? So I hit him up privately and I said, hey, buddy, never heard of you, first of all. So let's get that out of the way. Like, not trying to bust your ego up, but so what's your problem with me? And I've had these conversations with many people, but this particular kid, I think it blew his mind that I contacted him privately, and it kind of threw him off. And he literally says, he's like, man, I don't even know you. I was just kind of hitting them, just throwing in them little punches because other people were doing it. And I said, hey, bro, look, let me tell you something. This kid, I said, what do you do for a living? He said, man, I'm over here flipping burgers somewhere. He lives in Texas too, by the way, over there where you at.
Oh, sure.
Anyway,
sure. Blame the Texans.
And I said, how about you? Yeah, I know, right? They blame the Texans.
Damn Texans.
And I said, why don't you get you a real job? Nothing against flipping burgers, but let's get you a real job, be a real man, and do what I'm doing and be a plumber. Now, I was just really joking with him. Yeah. Well, the guy took my word, took it, dude. Not with a grain of salt. He literally, week, brother.
He picked up the
went
ball.
and got a plumbing, became an apprentice.
Wow.
Became an apprentice, and this is 2 years later. Dude freaking loves it. Plumbing has changed this kid's life. This dude went from making, $11, $12, $13 an hour. This dude making almost $30 an hour in hourly speak in terms. So his whole financial world has been flipped because he was a hater, and Dewdawg come into his life, and he'll tell you right now, he's like, dude, thank you for basically grabbing me by the collar of the shirt,
shaking him.
Anyway.
So basically, okay, so you got him plumbing now. So now you need to hand him a Bible and one of Jordan Peterson's books, and we'll be good. He'll be president. He'll be president in 20 years if we still have a country. If you hand him all that.
Hey man, there you go. Y'all heard it here first.
Yeah.
First Latino president right here. All because your boy Dewdawg gave him a Jordan Peterson book.
From Texas too. Yeah. And look, I know Jordan, I do follow him, but he's gone off the deep end a little bit on certain things, but I still believe that he means well, and he's super analytical. I know his mind has changed a little bit, in the literal sense, in the last few years since getting well.
Yeah.
So, which is interesting, because he was sick for so long. And I know that, just me mentioning it is probably going to piss off some people, but I don't always agree.
There's definitely been a shift now.
Yeah. I don't always agree with him, but I listen. Because he's saying something important, whether or not I agree with it. I feel like it's something important to listen to. And his daughter is becoming almost as prolific. Michaela, she does something different, but she's got her dad's mindset, and she's super intelligent and a super strong woman who's been through so much stuff. So listening to her interviews with other people is also very interesting. You got to get past the personality part of it and just deal with the things that are being said and done. Because she's a very bland personality, but I like the message, and I like the interactions. And I like the openness to interact.
I'll have to check her out. I honestly never heard her. So.
Oh, yeah. And actually, I just saw that she posted that she was actually going to have a sit-down in the same room interview with her dad for the first time in a couple of years. Because she's moved all over the country. He's still pretty much based up in Canada. So she basically was just moving from, I think she went from Nashville down to Florida because the weather was better for her health, because she bad health runs in their family, horrible genetic diseases, and some of the worst autoimmune diseases you can have and still be alive.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no, she's got a crazy story. You go look up Michaela Peterson. Basically, by the time she was 17, she had her hip replaced, her ankle replaced, because her body was eating itself. It was crazy by the time.
Wow.
Yeah, and she somehow had a kid in the middle of all
structure.
That. Yeah, literally, and. It doesn't hurt that she's attractive. Attractive and intelligent.
Right.
It's great. Okay, so
yeah, I'll check it out.
But
on top of I guess the last thing for me, as far as way off those topics, I got a buddy of mine named Darko Customs. Give him a shout out on Instagram and YouTube. He actually just sent me these yesterday, but he's a fantastic painter, and so he did these little
what do we got?
Monkeys for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, check it out.
Were those from
So you did these
Mezco?
Little guys. The body is, yes.
Okay.
The head is I don't know.
Okay.
Somebody.
I remember somebody.
Of course, we all know.
I saw the picture.
Yeah,
I saw the picture of the Bart there. That's pretty cool.
But those are Mezco bodies, though.
Yeah. I recognize that. I remember.
And then he made one for me.
Yes.
Yeah, the white monkey. Which that's hilarious. And then the Georgia Bulldogs.
That's pretty funny.
That's pretty dang hilarious.
That is If you wouldn't mind, send me pictures of those after the fact so I can insert them, so they're a little easier to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's a little.
And the last thing, I'm sorry, the Marvel Legends Daredevil, he painted Matt Murdock right here too.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So I think this was Casting Cave. People in the toy community have probably heard of Casting Cave. I don't know, but anyway, he's the one. Basically, this was a 1/6 scale head, and they shrunk it down.
Oh, neat.
With all that detail.
Yeah, basically scanned it and printed it smaller. Nice.
Exactly. And then my buddy Darko, same guy, he painted it. So.
Yeah, definitely take pics and send those to me because
cool.
It'll be much easier to see. Because you're choppy on my end. I don't know about on your end. So either way.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. It's smoother on my end, but either way, I'll still get photos.
Your audio is fine, but the video is super choppy. But it's okay. Your internet barely functions from the storm, so it's like any internet is an improvement. So,
I'm about to say the fact I have power right now is an improvement.
Praise God that he was on the side of the. Now I'm gonna say that, and then my power is gonna drop out. And it's like I didn't claim anything bad. Don't do it to me like that.
Like I was so excited the last 2 or 3 days when you invited me on.
Yeah.
And then the power goes out. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah, no joke, guys. It's 6:30 and the power goes out. It's like literally an hour and a half till we're good to go. And then he hits me up like right after, like just a little bit after 8. You know, the power's back on. I'm just waiting on the internet. I'm like,
close.
Give us a teaser. And I nearly started a show. Like I was waiting. I'm just sitting there watching shorter YouTube videos just in case. But I already had it good to go. I know better. It's like if we had it set and things are gonna go, I'm gonna have it ready to just click and go if it happens. So it was just sitting here the whole time waiting. Let's see if I had anything else.
So here we are.
Exactly. Let me see if there was anything else. Oh, I did want to give a quick shout out. Me and Miss Shoky had our 8-year anniversary the other day. So
congratulations.
Yeah, we also we forget. Like we forget when our anniversary is. And the thing is, she thought it was on the 19th, but it's actually the 18th. Her whole time, she's always thought it's on the 19th. I'm like, no, it's on the 18th. She's like, well, how do you know? I was like, because
those of y'all that are married, the key word is we forget, not he or her. Yeah.
We
one of y'all forget.
No, it's literally it's both of us. Well, like we've always been bad when it comes to those things. Like we know that our first date was July 3rd. Because the next day was July 4th, very easy to remember. And then our actual anniversary, because like we're not legally married, we don't have that one piece of paper, but in every other aspect we're married. You know, even in the eyes of my job, we're legally bound because she has to be on my insurance, and they have a common law clause. So like we've been together forever, we've lived together forever, we have bills together. She's on my insurance as my spouse. All of this stuff. So the one piece of paper is all it takes. I mean, everybody called her my wife even before we really discussed that realistically, you know. So that's one reason why it's a little vague in our memory, but like
well, hey man, 8 years though, that's awesome.
Dude, it's the longest relationship I've ever been in outside of my job. I've only done my job longer than I've done and it's
funny.
And we've grown together. I mean, like the last few years, COVID and everything like that. You know, we've lost friends along the way. You know, we used to have a lot of community, a lot more friends, and more people to hang out with and stuff like that. And then between since 2020, we've lost like so many people who just disappeared into the wind, basically. You know, so like actually finding
life. Sometimes that happens, dude.
Yeah, and like, I take some responsibility for it because I know how I am, but I also know that years ago, those same instances would not have cost you years-long friendships. Would not cost you.
Right.
These people, everyone became more unreasonable, and then so it looks like the reasonable ones are insane.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that it's like that.
Yeah, because even a guy that we used to spend time together on my channel, on unboxing art, he also was a victim of that as well. So that's why, like, outside of that, I lost most of the collecting community, or at least in the toy end of it, for that reason, because like
hey,
basically when he and I,
with you,
yeah, when he and I went our separate ways, I just kind of lost that entire chunk of community, so it is what it is. And that was a really dumb one too. That was the thing that didn't make any sense to me. That the argument that ended our friendship more or less did not make any sense. So I was just like, whatever. It was like if you were that close to just
those are the ones, and that's the ones that's just wild, man.
Yeah, it's just like like you and I have interacted quite a bit over the years. Either just chit chatting or doing shows together, whatever, traded stuff back and forth. Yeah,
absolutely.
Now,
matter of fact, I got your turtles right here.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking about those.
Folks this real quick.
Yeah, because you got that other 4-pack of Target turtles, and I'm jealous.
If it wasn't for you, my friend,
you still have
these right here.
They're still in the box. Open the. Or did you put them back in the box?
Well, no, they're not in the box. I didn't put them in.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say.
No, I just kept the box.
You
I got all my
box happened to be sitting
turtle
right
shelf
there.
right here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was behind the chair. That's why. Nice.
Anyway, so I appreciate that,
dude. I hooked up.
That.
Yeah, I hooked up you and Nate, and I never got those.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah, it's like I never.
You hit me up. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because you got me the Silver
Everybody was
Surfer.
like, "Are you insane? Why do you want these ugly things?" I was like, "Man, y'all mind your business, man."
Dude, they're cool. they're really dumb.
They're really cool.
They're really dumb, but they're really cool. And it's a good set. But thank God they didn't make a Splinter to go with it. Thank God, because that Splinter was terrible. Ooh. If you remember that Splinter from that show, was so bad.
Oh, the nightmares! I remember the.
But you would have to have him to actually recreate his solo song from that live show. But okay, so just on that side note, I just got the Casey Jones Phantom of the Opera in, and that's the last of the Universal Monsters crossovers until they finally do the Shredder, the Shredder that's also Dracula, because that's their only other option. Oh, you got him over there too.
Somewhere, right here.
It's a good figure.
Those of y'all that want to see it, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Well, you can also. Yeah. So on the Patreon, you can see my out of the box for that. Oh, so you did it the same way I did mine. That's funny. Yeah, he's over there with the rest of them.
The pose.
Well, the way you got him arranged.
I love it, dude. I love those Universal Monsters, man.
Dude, yeah, the Universal Monsters, except for my Wolfman. By the way, guys, so here's my update. Usually you hear me complain about Wolfman every other episode. I'm done with Wolfman. He has fallen off the shelf for the final time. He's going to live on the floor from now on. I'm so done with
him, man.
Dude, I just fixed him for the third time in 2 weeks. And I just put Dracula up there because I got Dracula and Casey Jones at the same time. So I put Dracula up there. I fixed his feet. I even leaned him back a little bit. He's on a base. And that MFer still nosedive off the shelf. I was like, come on. I was like,
Don't you hate that? Oh my God. I hate that.
It's so bad. And it's just the way those feet were designed on that Wolfman with the digigraded toes, and that's where the thing mounts. Yeah, NECA is just killing it, man.
Yeah, NECA, man, they ain't messing around with the detail on these.
And they do so much stuff, but I'm only interested in the Turtles things, so it is what it is. I got Alf. I've got Alf in the mix with the Ninja Turtles. I'm just making him another mutant for the heck of it. But I ordered. I even said I didn't want them, and then I ordered the movie 3 Turtles. As soon as they dropped that, it's like, it's that new.
I had to get it. I've already got all the other 4 packs. Might as well have that one too.
That's the way I looked at it, and I'm just like, fine.
And here's what I tried to do. You talking about movies earlier.
Yeah.
Man, I tried. I was like, and it's because of the NECA Turtles. I was like, you know what? I hadn't seen Turtles 3 since I was 12 years old.
Oh, no.
So I go find it, right?
Oh, no.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, no.
I was like, when I say horrendous, I think I got through, maybe 5 minutes. I don't even know if it was that long.
It's
wow. It's terrible.
Compared to the previous 2, it is definitely nowhere near as good. The suits and whatnot are significantly better, but like the story is dumb. The special
That's
effects,
what was crazy.
the special effects are decent for what they are, but like
The acting was rough.
The acting was rough. Hey, they brought back Casey. He wasn't in the second one.
They did do that.
Oh, I did pre-order Kino as well. I forgot about that. So I ordered Kino and the bike as well. So from movie 2. So,
$100 bill plus tax.
Dude, the way I looked at it, I'm like, they teased us with that bike like 3 years ago. Like, I swear to God, it was 3 years ago. They teased us with the bike. And I'm like, they're going to get us a Kino. Yeah. Now. Just the bike. And like, they got April done. I'm guessing they just had issues clearing Ernie Reyes Jr. probably to do the sculpt and whatnot.
I'm sure, yeah.
And then they did that really bad, way too small Danny from the first movie, which they knew.
Bro,
he's too small.
That was so stupid.
And dude, have you seen?
Well, that's because they used the Terminator.
Yes, the John Connor. They used a John Connor. Book. Yeah,
it was literally a repaint with a new head on it.
Yeah. So, and don't look at the price on BBTS for that one right now. It's horrendous. But and it was a loot box, which is even dumber, or loot crate, I should say. But
yeah, loot crate.
They need to give us a Tatsu. I think he's supposedly next. And then I'll be happy. Give me a movie 1, movie 2 Tatsu. Because I need both. Because I have movie 1 shelf and I have movie 2 shelf. I need a Tatsu for each one.
That's true.
Because now I have multiple Aprils. I have multiple Caseys. I have multiple Shredders.
Sure
but the thing is, I'm not a multiple. It's like, if I got the one, I'm good. No. When it came to these friggin' turtles, multiple sets of turtles, multiple sets of Shredders, multiple sets of Splinters. And it's like, come on. Especially when they started re-releasing the 2-packs. Like... You remember how hard it was hunting down the individuals.
And then they started re-releasing them again with different colors. So you'd have
some of them, yeah.
The first time it had...
You're right.
Yeah, it had like Leo and Raphael or whatever. And then the next one had Donnie and Mikey. The other one had... I was like, what the heck's going on, dude?
Yeah, and then like the funny thing is I can still go to my local Walmart and still find the Rokusaki... Hamato Yoshi 2-pack.
Me too.
Because they're just there. There are too many.
As a matter of fact, there was 3 of them at my Walmart today.
Yep, exactly.
Just stacked. And the Super Shredder, believe it or not.
And the Super Shredder is still around. Sometimes you'll get the Shadow Master one too, though. Like he'll get in the mix. I don't need I don't need more than the 1 Super Shredder, so I'm good there. But like, it's just
like 4 of them suckers.
Yeah.
Like why?
Just every. Like, what was it?
Well, I mean, I know why. It's money, but I mean...
Yeah. So they made the normal one, they made the more purple one, and then they made the Shadow Master one. Which was a weird reference in the first place.
Yeah, that was weird, dude. Now, I can't complain. Somebody gave me that one for free, straight up. Not bragging, I'm just saying, but I'm like, I'm not complaining either.
You didn't free, buy it.
So I'm like, hey, whatever.
You didn't have to spend an extra $35. That was kind of
the end of my reviewing time when people were like, dude, here's a free one. Just please review. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, lucky you.
Thanks for the free toy, but I still ain't going to review it. I appreciate it. That's pretty savage, but anyway.
That is pretty savage. That's pretty mean. Like, I think, like, I only... So I need like 1 or 2 Turtles things, and then I'm done with Turtles. But Gargoyles is still continuing, which is annoying. Because they're already redoing redecos.
I did get some Gargoyles, but I'm like, man, what y'all doing?
Did you see the SDCC shots of the Gargoyle shelves? They have a special Broadway coming where he's got the trench coat and the hat, and I'm just like, of course.
The trench coat.
Of course.
And I'm like, no, not me.
I don't need that one. No.
All right.
And the thing is, and
what's that old saying? I'm happy you're happy, you know.
Exactly, but like the thing is, there's the easiest repaints that they have not done that everyone wants, the stone versions. You don't even have They don't have to change the figure, but like, how many Goliaths have they given us, and none of them have been a stone version? I was like, I mean, I have the kind of paint.
Stone Goliath.
Just go buy another Goliath if you can find one, or go buy the video game version and then just repaint
new one.
that.
About to say same exact thing.
Yeah. Oh, and the video
different paint.
So at insult to injury, the video game one comes with both sets of wings. It's the only place you can get both sets of wings at the same time.
It's like, thanks.
Yeah, thanks.
I got 5 different gargoyles with folded wings, open wings.
Yeah. So like mine, I finally moved it.
And then they announced the dinosaurs TV.
Oh, I already pre-ordered those,
show back
buddy.
in the day, little not the mama.
Dude, I already pre-ordered them. I knew they were coming.
Like, yeah.
I cannot wait. I don't know where I'll put them. And we talked about this a couple weeks ago. So, like, even if you get the family, right? Like, just get the whole family, and then you got to get the secondary characters. So you get Roy, you know, his little T-Rex buddy.
Oh yeah,
But
give me his balls.
Yes,
man.
you need
Triceratops,
Mr. Reachfield. Yeah. So, but he has to come with the desk. He has to because he has no lower body. It's just the desk. But what I was saying,
so huge.
So Fran's best friend, who was like the brontosaurus, so she was just the neck and head coming through the door. I was like, I'll buy that too. It's like, I don't care. It's like, I will have the diorama is their kitchen.
Little dio piece with a
and the head just comes through the thing.
Absolutely. The refrigerator with the little creatures inside.
Yes. Oh God, yes. You have to open the fridge and the little hands come out. Oh, thank you. I knew there was the garbage disposal, which is like a bird of some sort under the counter. Oh man, that show was fantastic, man. That show was fantastic. But yeah, those and there's only a few redecos, like when they just change outfits, basically. Yeah, and even that was pretty rare.
And my brain just got flooded with memories of how society has changed in general. Not trying to sound like an old man, but like literally when you said that show and how awesome it was, I'm thinking of my children, 12, 10, and 4, same ages like basically my brothers were when I was 12. My middle brother was 10. My baby brother was 8.
Wow.
And we would sit there religiously when the dinosaurs came on with Mama and Daddy and all the siblings.
Yep.
Freaking every time, or TGIF or whatever, you know.
Yeah. Exactly.
And watch that shit. And now, when is that? I've never done that with my kids ever. There's not a shit. There's no TV. You know what I mean? It's like streaming or Netflixing or, you know.
You need to sit down and watch dinosaurs.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Anyway.
You need to sit down and watch dinosaurs with them.
You're right. You're exactly right.
Dude, like, so, you know, like Disney has like the retro area and stuff like that on the Disney Plus. Like, they need to have it set up that it's the TGIF blocks. Like, and so like here's
that's what
this.
I mean. It's like,
so it's this lineup from these years, and these are the episodes. Like, so you can just click on it, and it goes like, this was this Friday, this was this Friday, and then it just progresses that way.
Because sometimes, like, dude, don't get me wrong, we all as society we want it like Burger King, we want it my way right away.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, there was something about waiting. You have to wait. You have no choice but to wait till Friday night to see the next episode of whatever you're gonna watch.
Family Matters, Full House, whatever.
Yeah.
Whichever family drama it was, you know, well, not even drama, comedy. Like, and the funny thing is, some of those shows have not gotten new continuations. Like, you know, Fuller House did, which was not terrible. Wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
Right. We watched it.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible. It was the near the ending was getting kind of really emotional, but like really hefty emotional stuff near the end. But like they couldn't bring back. I don't think they could bring back Family Matters in the same way. I think that'd be a little more difficult.
Man, nah.
But then, like,
well, you saw to answer your question.
Yeah,
it'll happen with what happened with Fresh Prince.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not being funny. I'm dead serious.
No, you're not wrong. There's
they brought Family Matters,
the new Fresh Prince show, which I've not bothered to look at. Well, you know they have the new Wonder Years. Have you seen the new Wonder Years?
I guess I missed that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was that.
Be okay. Right, be okay with that. I think because like the Wonder Years was. I think this one, at least from the trailer, seems more comedic. Like, I could be wrong, but I swear it seems more comedic. Okay. But the Wonder Years wasn't comedic. It was just a normal. It was a family show. Like, some really deep stuff happened in that show, you know. And that was supposed to be what the tail end of the 70s, right? Or was it older? I think it was the 70s, going into the 80s.
It was late 70s, early 80s. Yeah,
it's somewhere in there. Yeah. Talking about those the comeback shows, you know, that 90s show was not good. I tried to wipe that from memory, but clearly I didn't. I need to drink more. Apparently, I still remember that.
Back in on you.
Like, there were some good moments, but it was bad otherwise. You know, like all these modern reboots and remakes. That's a segue. Like the new Snow White. That was just the first images of the new Snow White lacking dwarves was it's broken the internet apparently. One, because Snow White, which I don't know if you remember why her name is Snow White, but it has to do with the color of her skin. Was cast as a Latina actor, right?
Which when I saw that, I was like, okay, we in a joke world. Like this guy, y'all purposely come on. Y'all just at this point. I mean,
it's clown world, but like
what?
And normally I would argue that best actor or actress for the job, but you missed the bare base element of the character, and she's pretty, and I'm sure she's probably a great actress. I have no clue. I don't know who she is, but they missed the point there. And then the really big brouhaha is the fact that she no longer has 7 dwarves accompanying her. She has just 7 magical beings of whatever color and or race. And I mean that literally because I don't know what exactly they are. Because I think they're like a mix of different magical peoples. But like the dwarves weren't magic. The dwarves they were just dwarves. They're just like working in the mines.
On the diamonds.
And
jewels.
And I'm not entirely certain what Peter Dinklage came out and said. It seemed like at some point he was trying to go after Disney for it, but then it almost seemed like he was agreeing with them. So he's actually in the doghouse when it comes to the dwarf community or the little people community of actors. And seemingly the reasoning is they thought it was kind of offensive what the dwarves were depicted as, and therefore they changed the characters so that dwarf actors wouldn't have to embody that.
Okay.
So
I mean, it gives you a migraine trying to wrap your mind around it.
Yeah, we're not built this way because you took away the job from the people who are literally made to do it and said it was because you were protecting them from it.
I mean, you can't make it up, buddy. You can't make this stuff up. It's pure comedy.
How? Like, how do you... Like, okay, they screwed up the Little Mermaid so bad. So bad. Like, things prior to that weren't all terrible, but, like, I forget which one was... Aladdin wasn't great. It wasn't great. But Little Mermaid was terrible. And now they're doing this with their very first animated feature. Being redone, like, 70 years later as a live-action thing. And they got the outfit right.
The biggest thing with, like, The Lion King and Little Mermaid is... And somebody brought up a great point. I saw the reviews and stuff, movie reviews anyway. And Dead on the Money, they said that the animals themselves, right? They were like, they're animated, but they're not dancing and singing and playing the instruments and, under the sea, all that. And so, and some dummy was like, well, it's supposed to be realistic. It's a talking animal, dude. Yeah. Under the sea. It's a mermaid,
it's
bro.
A mermaid.
You're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking? It's realistic.
Yeah.
Like, what?
So
what's going on, man?
Dude? Okay, so like I was giving the Little Mermaid, and people who've listened to the show long enough will know, I was giving it the tiniest grain of possibilities until I saw Flounder, Sebastian, and the seagull.
The seagull, yeah.
Well, it wasn't a seagull in this. In fact, he was. I don't even know what other. And it was voiced not by, or it was voiced by Awkwafina, which makes it 100 times worse. 100 times worse. Scuttle.
Yeah, his own little rap video.
Yeah.
Scuttle. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And Flounder looked like some kind of freak in nature. I'm like,
dude, I
this is
don't.
a nightmare.
So it's like, look, you don't have to make it identical to the cartoon, but make it less real because you're already breaking the reality. Like Lion King, Lion King, they were going for photorealistic, and they got pretty dang close with the non-talking animals.
Yeah, it was.
But animals don't emote.
It's probably
like
the
people.
best out of all of the remakes so far, as far as
yeah.
I guess
if you're going towards that, and it was nearly shot for shot. You know, it was pretty dang close.
That's very true. That's a good point too. Now,
but the thing is that you lose points because you made it hyper real to the point that animals can't emote like people, and the cartoons can do that because they aren't realistic looking. That was the point.
Because they're animated.
They're animated that way so that they can emote like people, even though they don't have the facial structures and human eyes.
I can sit here right this minute as a 42-year-old man and watch the original, the first Lion King, the first one, and the Little Mermaid, the first one. Let's go, like right now.
Any of the Disney, any of the Disney movies, any of them. Up until even all the way up until like Princess and the Frog, which was like their last actual animated feature, if I recall. Like
true animation.
True animated feature. Like you can watch any of them. Like every now and then there's gonna be a miss, give or take. But the Disney Renaissance basically started with Aladdin and like really peaked with Lion King.
Oh yeah,
you know,
Aladdin too, man.
But dude, Bambi. They're talking about doing,
King.
dude. They're doing quote unquote live action Bambi. I'm like, you can't do that movie in live action. It will work worse. It's like it's a smaller cast than the Lion King, and you're gonna watch a real deer get shot on screen.
Ooh,
dude, his mom's gonna fall off a cliff. She's not gonna be shot by a hunter because we can't have guns in a Disney movie. Watch, like what next? Live action Tarzan? Oh wait, like with the talking apes. Like that's the funny part because that's the inverse of most of the other ones where like the creatures are like the supernatural. In this case, it's just a dude who can understand animals, you know.
Man.
Because actually, if you recall,
and that's why it has nothing to do with why I will not watch everything we just named because I'm like why why I'll just watch the original. I'm good.
No, I'm good. It's like
call me whatever
because there's no reason we can't. It's like not only were we kids when they came out, or some of them were even older than our generation. You know, like Snow White came out in what, the 50s? You know, so that's been around a while.
Dude. Yeah.
And like, I'm sorry, like, okay, so Maleficent, while not being a straight remake, was a good movie. Like for a live action adaptation.
I haven't seen that one, but I mean,
it's a good one. Like Angelina Jolie actually kills it as Maleficent.
That's the one with Angelina Jolie, right?
Yeah. And like that's actually a pretty decent movie. I never saw the second one. I didn't want to see the second one, but the first one covers pretty much all of Sleeping Beauty, but focuses on Maleficent instead of Aurora. You know,
they'll be doing a live action. Well, never mind. They did
that. They did that a long time ago.
Years ago, though.
But actually, Cruella.
That's right. I remember that now.
So Cruella was a good movie. It was really, really, really long, but it was a really good movie. But that was a prequel, not a thing. But that is also meant. Yeah, actually, you know what's funny about the Cruella movie? I missed the post-credit scene where she actually gives the dogs to the respective owners from 101 Dalmatians. So, like, I missed that. That is actually at the end of that movie, and I missed it.
Okay.
So, the 2 Dalmatians that start that whole thing were hers, and she gave them to, what was it, Pongo and Pardia or whatever. So they tie it into 101 Dalmatians down the line that way because they're like, how did we get there? And it's like, this is how. So either way, I like that one, but I also like what's her face in that movie, so I'm good. I thought it was just a creative movie in the first place.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I never remember her name until I don't need to know it.
From Zombieland.
And and all the things, and Spider-Man, and what.
Yeah.
And I can I can see her face. I can see her face clear as day in every movie I've ever watched her in since she came into movies. But when I
forgot she was in Spider-Man.
Yeah, and Easy A and Superbad and all these other ridiculous. The Help.
Exactly.
That's another great movie.
Yeah, that's
Dude,
a great movie.
That is a great movie. That was
That's a really good movie.
I forgot where that was on somewhere we were hanging out, and I was like, "They're playing this movie here." I was like, "Okay." It's like, "All right." It's like I'll watch it while we're sitting. But it's like,
man, when she brings that pie, dude, I'm like,
oh, I think it was when it might have been when I was in a hospital. I don't remember. Like, cause
that's funny.
That might have been it. Yeah, dude, that pie. Then when that comes back later, when in the story, and then she offers
it's bad
pie.
when you are living through these movies and you're like, man, there's so many people I could give this pie to.
No.
Let's see. Half of them's at San Diego Comic-Con.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Go repent, sir. Go read your Bible. Something in there about
just
vengeance.
playing, Artemis. We're just joking, buddy.
Wow.
Shoky said he gonna edit. He gonna edit now. That's for you.
No, it's staying in there. But
that's for your Patreon.
Nope. That's staying in. That is staying in. Don't do that. It's terrible.
Now that was a good movie though.
That was a good movie.
I'll tell you another one kind of in that era. What was it? It was the one where there was a bunch of black ladies that actually pretty much made NASA successful.
Hidden Figures.
You know what I'm talking about?
Hidden irony.
Yeah,
called Hidden Figures.
That was a good one too.
And that's why you like it. It's Figure Game. It's where it started.
You would think.
No, that is
that was a good one too.
That is a fantastic movie. Yeah, it's ever so slightly exaggerated for movie sake, but it's still like pretty accurate.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'll tell you what I want to see is that what's his name? Oppenheimer.
Yes, cannot wait to go see that.
I want to see it. Yeah, dude.
Yeah. All right. So
see, that's the kind of stuff I'd love.
Yeah. No, you go. You're good.
No, I'm saying that's the kind of stuff I would love to like if me and you were like, if I was in Texas or you were in Georgia, like me and you go see that movie, that'd be cool, bro. Like straight up, like so, and then review it afterward. We saw it, man. Come on, that'd be awesome.
So actually, because we did a road trip up to Maryland back in May, and I was like, is there a way I can swing through Georgia? And I'm like, no, it's like that is too far out of the way. I was like,
that's a big swing.
But I know, next road trip, if we're gonna do it, I'm probably gonna head to Florida so I can meet up with Rikki in Florida. So I'd be driving.
That's way.
Yeah. So I
that's could, way. We could make that happen. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably have to meet somewhere. But
no, that's not a problem. I mean, like I would
if
plan
you're in Maryland.
But what I'm saying, Rikki's down in Florida.
You could, you should have T-Man. You could have saw T-Man.
Yeah, I thought about that. I did meet a bunch of other reviewers and the like at the particular party. So, did not meet T-Man, but I met TM Reviews. He's another.
Oh yeah.
So he's a cool dude. He's a really cool dude. So I've done a few things with Pake over there on the Pake for Life channel. Done a couple of his chatter days and stuff like that. So I've talked to a few of those guys from that neck of the woods.
Yeah, TM Reviews actually is T-Man's admin when they do live streams.
Yep.
He's one of his guys that keeps up with the chat or whatever. Anyway.
Yep. He's a really cool dude. I didn't get to talk to him a lot, but I got to see him for at least that first day of the party. So, but like I said, like, because I know people, I know people in like kind of the Virginia, Carolina area as well. So like if I worked it to where like I can make it through there, see the people there, and then go down through Georgia and into Florida on a trip, I'd try to see everybody I could along the way, for sure. But
here's a random question: How did the toy company that makes die-cast little cars in Target somewhere just all of a sudden come out with the freaking what happened?
Well,
how did this happen?
Well, you know, Jada Toys has been doing all those Halo toys, the Halo figures, for years now. So they've been.
You know what? I thought it was Jazzware for some reason.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
You're right. I forgot.
No, you're right. It is Jazzwares. Why was I thinking Jada Toys?
I don't know.
So wait, hold on. Yeah, you called me on that. I had that backwards. Wrong J name. I was thinking that was Jada, and I actually gave them credit for that in my video earlier, so I'm gonna have to correct that for myself.
Well, make sure you check. I might be
No,
wrong.
no,
too,
you're right. I know I'm wrong. It is Jazzwares. You're right. So, but the thing is, do you remember the Target? They had the 2-pack Street Fighter Ninja Turtle 2-packs. You remember?
I do remember.
So that's not that.
Yeah,
figure.
it's like Stranger Things and the Ninja Turtles and the Street Fighter and the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, so that's not that same Ryu, right? That wasn't Jada Toys, was it?
No.
That wasn't Playmates, but that's somebody else. Maybe
that's Playmates. Playmates made that.
Was it? Because I couldn't tell. I never knew. Because there's so many people making Ninja Turtle stuff right now. I wasn't sure, but because I want.
Oh yeah, I know. You're right.
Yeah, because they had the Loyal Subjects. They got Super 7. Everybody's got the Turtles license right now. NECA.
No, this is a way different.
Yeah, stop spoiling it for me. I have an open mind. But the funny thing is, the reason I got it was to go with my Street Fighter Power Rangers figures, because I wanted the head sculpts to be able to put on the Power Rangers figures.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Dude, like the physical bodies are significantly different. Like, because that's more video game Ryu, where he's like jacked. He's like super jacked, but the Power Rangers figure is not. It's made for the
that Lightning
video
collection.
game.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
But I mean, that's what I got it for. But I just wanted the head sculpt. So like the fact that he comes with the 2 heads, I can put one of the heads on the other one. And I'm waiting on a Chun-Li for the same reason. But before we go too much further, I did want to read a new email from Jay, otherwise known as Jan Goza. So he wrote us a big long email and was talking about his mom. So he's been in contact with me over the last few days, like repeatedly. His mom was in the hospital. They've determined that she has some form of cancer. They don't know exactly which one. But it doesn't look great. Cause they were thinking liver or somewhere in that area. And then they had to, I think, siphon off something. I have to go through the email. Something in her throat. They had to actually like remove or siphon something off to open up her, esophagus so she could actually swallow, because she wasn't able to eat anything for like days on end, to the point they were using a feeding tube. So he's been like massively stressed out about it, and so he's been writing back and forth to me, and I've been doing what I can to comfort somebody when you can't be there, or at least just be there as an ear to talk to, more or less. And
absolutely,
with the health issues my parents have been going through, the stress kicked my ass. Like everybody here has heard the story by now, back in March, how bad that was. And even to the point that it is like irreparably done damage to my family, the what happened there. Like even now it's not right still. So, but I did want to read this email from him. This was the first major update, but then there's extra comments catching us up on stuff. And then he's got some questions, and then we'll do our best to answer them, or because some of them are like opinion based, some of them are actual questions. So let me read this here. It says, just wanted to update you guys on my mom. Mind you, this is the first email he sent with the update, so there's like 7 more after this, but this was just the point of it. She's in the hospital getting looked at. General surgeon called an ENT for consultation. They think it's cancer. We know now it is. They said stage 4 at some point, but I don't know if that was 100% confirmed. But they wanted to put some type of tube in, or some type of feeding tube in. She refused the surgical one, so that would be, they wanted to do the nasal tube down to the stomach to feed her, which I had to do for suction, so I know how horrible that is. But so she's been in the hospital for a few days now. I'm here at home with my dad instead of being there with her, and I'm going to use his language at least. So it says, it's fucking pissing me off. My stress and worry level are about 8.5. If it reaches 9.4, 9.5, I start using them as a reason to do stupid fucking shit that tends to get me in trouble. Don't do that. I'll just say that right now. Don't do that. If they reach a 10, I'll end up in the hospital. That's not good. If only I had my driver's license, it would not be as bad. Just FYI, it's like, hold on. I have had 4 or 5 permits, and for whatever reason, basically he's just never been able to fulfill getting his license all the way. So that part sucks. Yeah. Being stuck at home and you can't go do the things you want to do because you don't have driver's license.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
So as for, we wanted to know why he was doing mechanical work for his neighbors for free. So he's answering this. It said, as for making the neighbors pay when one is the HOA, quote unquote, mayor of the subdivision and the other is a retired highway patrol officer, both of which can make your life a living hell, the mayor has been known to do things to other neighbors with guns and the neighborhood general directions. So basically, they're blackmailing him into doing free work for him. I'm like, the hell is this neighborhood, man?
Like, bro.
Like,
yeah, really though.
It's like, you tell him straight up, be like, look, my mom's dying right now. Go to hell. It was like, he's like, no, sorry. And
do whatever you want to with your HOA bullshit.
Do whatever you want. At this point, it doesn't matter. Okay, so he has a buttload of different questions here. Some of which we should be able to get through here. So he says, and he did give us a good political question that we discussed last week, which was fun. Listen to that tomorrow. It'll be great. All right, so it says, should rich people have the same punishment as poor people? And it says, for example, where I used to live, a farmer walked up and attacked a normal guy for no reason. Police arrested the normal guy for assault on the farmer, despite 10 to 20 witnesses and it being caught on film that the farmer was the one who actually aggressed this. And the police tried to confiscate everybody's phones, and the dude sat in city jail for 5 weeks before he was charged. Is that right or wrong? I mean, that's an easy question. that is 100% wrong. You know, it's like to arrest the person that was assaulted. You know, but we're lacking context. We don't know why that dude went up and beat the crap out of that guy. It's like,
that's the context is always key.
Yeah.
So whatever situation.
Now, the guy who did the assaulting absolutely should have charges brought against him. Like, both people should go to jail until it's figured out. And then whoever posts bail or whatever, however it's got to work. You know, I also don't know where he lives. It's in the U.S. somewhere. I just don't know where. So yeah, that is 100% wrong, especially sitting in jail for 5 weeks without ever being charged, which is nuts because they have nothing to charge him with. He was the one who was assaulted. So it's like, so he's sitting in jail, and I'm guessing the framing here is that the farmer's the one with the money, and the other guy not so much.
Poor.
Which you know, that does lead into some of the classism problems that we have, especially in the jailing system. Like, in a place where you might have your bail set like stupid high and you can't afford to get out. Now you're stuck in jail until you can be arraigned and all this other nonsense because you simply can't afford to get out, you know? And
right.
That is a major problem, but the opposite is also true, that you can't go full on cashless bail like they've done in New York, because then you see the massive recidivism rate of just basically overturning small-time criminals constantly. You know, but I mean, that's why bail bondsmen exist.
Revolving door.
It literally. I mean, like, there was, what was that report from last year, that there was a group of like 30 people who've committed over like 400 crimes together, like, and they're just in and out constantly.
Bro, that's crazy.
Like literally, like a small group of people were responsible for like 70% of crime in this one area, and they were arrested constantly, but always released because there was no bail, and they couldn't hold them because the system's like, well, we're not going to do anything with them, so here you go, here's your pink slip, come back whenever we got time.
Or flooded in or whatever.
Not even that. It's just literally like, because the judicial system is just like so behind from COVID, it might be years before they ever get to that point, and they're not going to lock them up for this amount of time because they got rid of bail, like, period. They're just like, you ain't got cash, get out on the street. You know, so and I'm oversimplifying it, but that is kind of the problem. Is like, there's an in between ridiculous bail and no bail. It's like, no bail just means thanks for stopping by. You know,
right.
Is like, but in the same turn, if somebody commits a really heinous crime, you should be able to set their bail so high they can't get out for that reason. But if you know super rich people, some people might just, you know, slip you a milli and you're good to go, you know, like certain violent crimes, murderers and stuff like that, who, you know, like that that one dude who, what was it? I think it was here in Texas, actually. It was like a super rich kid who, like, I think he ran over some people and he didn't even care. And they arrested him. And it's like, oh, well, you can't arrest him for that. He has affluenza. He just doesn't even know that that's a crime. He's so rich and lives such a decadent life. He has no idea that running someone over with your car is a crime. I was like, I remember being told ignorance.
Boy, that's some crazy stuff.
Do you remember ignorance of the law is no excuse? I've been told that many times.
Oh, I do remember.
I've been pulled over.
Matter of fact, let me tell you, I was about to say, I got pulled over about 15 years ago, Black Friday. Me and my wife was shopping. It was about 7-ish. And it wasn't quite super dark, but we was going down a major highway. Anyway, there was a cop, had his lights on, had somebody pulled over. So I just went to the next lane, but I didn't slow down. I just
no.
whatever speed I was going. I wasn't speeding, though.
But they got you on the you didn't
speeding.
Slow down.
But
there
you go.
I knew
so
yeah.
The other cop was in front of him, but he was blacked out, no lights, nothing on until I passed him. Then he flipped his lights on,
Yeah.
And so he pulls me over, The ticket was $900.
Yeah. And that is some BS.
And so, anyways, fast forward, I go to court, and I literally told the judge, I said, I honestly never heard of that. Like, this was before now they implemented it big time. Like now, like it's called the move over law. Is what it's called. Any emergency vehicle or a wrecker, an ambulance, or even a regular citizen that's got their hazards on, if they're pulled over, you got to either
just scooch over,
get way over, or you have to come down to like a 15 or not 15, but like 25 mile
25 under.
Slow down.
Yeah, it's 25 miles under the speed limit. Yeah.
There you go. So I told that judge, I said I had no idea that existed. And he said, son, ignorance does not stand in the court of law. I was like, well, all right.
Well, see, the thing is with that law, maybe it's just how it's worded, because it doesn't say and.
I'm sorry, he worded it like, he said lack of knowledge doesn't stand up in the
same difference,
That's what he said.
Anyway. But the idea being that, like,
same difference,
depending on where it's, depending on how it's worded, if it's and not or. Like, if it's move over and slow down in your county, but in my county, it's or. So it's like, if you can't move over, you have to slow down, right?
Good point.
Because I had a cop pull me over for doing that, but here's the crazy part. It was already on a downhill slope headed towards a red light. It's a 2-lane on my side, but I can't change lanes because there's somebody there. I'm already coming to a stop, which means I'm already slowing down. The cop is on the shoulder with somebody pulled over, and I come to a stop at the light, and then the light goes green, and then I pull on ahead. That cop chases me down right there, and he said, basically like what you were just arguing, and to the point, and to make things worse, my boss was going the opposite direction and flipped around to come see what was going on. And I was just like, and I'm telling this cop, is like, I'm sorry, officer, is like, look, I couldn't change lanes, but I was already slowing down for the red light. I can't slow down more than I'm slowing down. It's like, how slow would you like? How much more slower would you like me to be going? It's like, the only option is we're on a downhill slope here. I would have to just slam on the brakes. I'm already slowing down. I was already under the speed limit. It's a 45 mile an hour spot, which means I would have to slow down to at least 20, which he can't confirm because he's not in the vehicle, which is even sillier. So, like, I'm already coming to a stop. I can't avoid you otherwise, but I'm already going slow enough. I was like, there's no way for me to have done more than what I did. I'm sorry. And he wrote me up a warning for, I think, just something on the truck instead of, because it's a work truck. And instead of giving me a ticket for that, I'm just like, I was like, yeah, because he can't prove I did or didn't do something in that manner. He was pissed. He was pissed. Yeah. He was pissed off. And I'm just like, I'm sorry. Because we actually had a problem where one of my coworkers did really aggravate a state trooper in that same manner, but he flat out didn't slow down or change lanes, and he blew past a state trooper that had somebody pulled over. And that really pissed him off, which started a chain reaction of us being harassed by state troopers. He got pulled over 3 times in one day because he just kept following him. So yeah, that was to the point he had to completely change cities. Okay, what else we got here? Let's see here. I don't know if this is a good one. I'll try it anyways, because maybe you know more than I do. So, second question: what is your guys' favorite Star Wars Legends book series? You know, everything that's now EU. So I still think he thinks everything is still canon. That's fine. And what does this say here? Fan theory alert: 7, 8, 9 were a fourth vision of Luke's. There, everything is right in Star Wars. X-Wing. I have no idea what he meant there. Like that was not spelled out correctly. So, his favorite of the Legends books is the X-Wing book. I guess is what he says there. I'm not too familiar with them. I only had like one of them, realistically, and I never even finished reading it back in the day. I don't know if you ever got into like the Star Wars novels or not.
Man, I have never in my life. I collect the comic books, but not the actual books. So I have no idea.
And and most of the modern comics are canon. Most. Some of them are a little weird.
Yeah, I do know those are canon. I do know, and I mean, you're right. Modern. Like when they revamped a bunch of like Darth Vader number 1, Han Solo, all that. I bought all those. But yeah, the current.
Yeah, and isn't there
other than that, that's all I know.
Let's see. Not long ago, they did that Darth Vader Black and Red comic. I think is what it was called.
Right. Exactly.
And it was
yeah.
And that thing was gorgeous, like just the artwork and everything, and it was beautiful. I think that was a short run though. I don't think that was a full series. And I did buy new comics. I didn't talk about it.
They did the same thing
with what?
They did the same thing with Wolverine. That's my all-time favorite superhero. So that was a must-have for me. But
damn Skippy. So sorry, we don't know enough about the Star Wars Legends books at this point, buddy. So if you guys out there know, let us know in the comments or email us in. By the way, I forgot to do that. So if you want to contact the show like Jay has done here, you can write in at NowYouMadeItAwkwardMail@gmail.com, which is in the description, so you don't have to remember it. So you can just copy and paste, make your life easy. So sorry about that, bud. I still don't know what that one comment about 7, 8, and 9. I have no idea there. So either way, and then the next question is, what is your favorite Star Trek ship? Mine's easy. It's a Defiant. It's like, sorry. It's like, the Defiant is my all-time favorite ship. So, I don't know if you know enough about Star Trek or not.
A little bit. Now, I might have to say mine. I don't even know what it's called. That's what's sad. But I do know the first show, straight up OG.
Yeah, the original Enterprise.
Back in the Captain Kirk and all them.
Yep. But, dude, the new series is actually pretty good. The one that's actually a prequel series. The Strange New Worlds.
I hadn't watched it yet.
Yeah, so
I like Star Trek. I mean, I ain't got no problem with it.
You like it so much you haven't watched it since the 70s.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's
Hey, dude, look, I used to watch Captain Picard, bro. Like there again, that was another one.
Okay, so TNG. There you go. So you've seen
way back.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
So the question is, which of the two Enterprises do you like better, the D or the original? So, but no, for me, it's the Defiant, followed closely by, let's see, I really like Voyager.
Captain's Log.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'll show you a Captain's Log. It's left in the Captain's Loo. Anyway, so I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the Constitution class Enterprise from Strange New Worlds because it's a redesign of the original, but it's supposed to be the predecessor to the original. So it's a new design, but it's set before the original series takes place. But it's a gorgeous redesign. I love it. But I love Voyager. I love the Defiant because it is just a tiny little beast of a ship. It's like super, super strong. And at that time, the Federation's first warship, like first purposeful warship, like they're all built to fight. But they weren't made for war. This one was. And that's why it's awesome. And it was the first one with a legal cloaking device, which was also awesome. My favorite quote about that with the Defiant, because when they got it, it was still like fresh out of the dock, and they were still doing a shakedown run on it. And the funniest part about it, they made it compact, so they could be fast and maneuverable. But they gave it such powerful engines that when they started it up, it nearly shook itself apart. It's like it was so strong it almost tore itself apart just from startup. I was like, yes, please. I would like 3 of those. Like, does it come in black? You know. But anyway, yeah. And he says
Henry Ford said all his came in black,
which was not true. They actually came in other
That's
colors.
what I heard. Yeah, apparently it's not true.
That quote
Yeah.
was actually not true. Sadly, you can have any color that you want as long as it's black. Was the quote?
As long as it's black. Yeah. So
it's false.
Yeah, that's a
non-canon.
That's a fictional quote. All right. Well,
it's non-canon.
Learn something new every day.
Yeah, because they came in several colors.
Yeah, non-canon.
Yeah, you get your Model Ts in a bunch of different
Nerd
colors.
speak.
Yep. Or Model T? No, Model A.
There we go.
Sorry, wrong model.
Yeah, Model A.
Yeah, and then let's see here. Okay, so this is he started this new thing where he gives us a list of movies to rate. Yeah, 1 through 10 ratings.
Okay.
All right, so and I know why he's asking this one because I just watched this movie. So the first one is a movie called Rubber. If you've never heard of it, it's a
Rubber.
Yeah, Rubber. It's on YouTube, so you can go watch it right now on YouTube with ads if you want. It's a quote-unquote horror movie about a murderous tire. It's a weird little independent film, and I mean it is purposefully weird, and that is the movie that I am doing a review on next week with my friend Dante. That's why he's bringing it up. So I like if you're like, it's not like ridiculous horror. It's definitely like B movie horror. Like, it's really dumb, but there's a weird story behind it that is somehow intriguing. So I would give it a 6. He gave it a 6, because it's not terrible. It's actually really well done. Like, if you watch the movie, like, the special effects are really well done for like a very, very low budget independent film.
So is this tire like some kind of alien, or is it an actual tire?
It's a tire.
It's
a tire that is somehow
Okay.
sentient and has psychic powers.
Okay.
It's really weird. The whole movie is just really, really friggin' weird. It makes no sense at all.
Sounds weird.
It is very weird, but it's not bad. If that makes any sense. It's like, it might be off-putting, but it's not
weird. Doesn't mean bad necessarily.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's why I said I give it a 6 because I enjoyed it because it was so strange. Like, I've watched bad movies that people called good.
Man, that's some weird stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like the show I talked about earlier, The End of the Fucking World. That's a very strange show, but it is a good show. The tire Rubber, if you just removed a couple aspects from it, could be a Black Mirror episode. It actually could. It's kind of interesting. Remove like 1 or 2 little weird things that are never explained, and then the rest of the premise, and it would be a Black Mirror episode somehow.
This is like the nightmare version of the Disney movie Flubber.
I wish. It could be, you know, like it somehow got infected with Flubber. But like the funny thing is there's no behind the scenes on it, and I want to see some behind the scenes on how they did it. Like, they told us like in an interview how it was done, but there's no behind the scenes to show what they did to actually make the tire move on its own and whatnot.
Make it happen.
Yeah. So apparently it is actually a remote control tire, but it's just a tire. Like, there's no like rig attached to it. It is a tire that is just rolling down the road, and they're controlling it with a remote control. I was like, I want to see this. How? Show me how.
Good old gyro force.
Pretty much. There had to be something in there driving
gyro
it.
Forces.
And if you look at it, you can see that like the tire is not deep enough. Like, you can see it's shallow, so something has to be inside it to make it move. But like, there's no wheel. It's just a tire. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Now, this is another one because I haven't seen any of these movies. He said the Fallen trilogy. So like, Olympus has fallen, London has fallen, Angel has fallen. I haven't seen any of those. Have you ever seen any of those?
Me neither.
Okay,
I've never seen it.
Sorry, couldn't help you there, Jay. But he rates them 7, 6.5, and 8. So apparently Angel has fallen is a pretty good one. Wait a minute. He already asked us about this one.
I do want to see Olympus Has Fallen, though.
Yeah, I've heard they're good. I just never watched them. So he asked us about Terminator Dark Fate last time, but he gave his rating here as a 7, so that's fine. Did you ever see that one? The last Terminator movie that came out?
That the one with the woman?
The female Terminator.
No, that was before that, wasn't it?
No, that was
Terminator, right?
No, this was the one where John Connor dies at the beginning, and then like a female Terminator comes back to help the new savior.
Oh my God, what's his name? Buddy that played Batman, right?
No, that was
Even the same movie.
That was which one was that one? That was the 4th one. Yeah, that was after Terminator 3.
That's the last Terminator I saw, was the 4th one. There.
Okay, so you didn't see Genesis, the other one where they were time jumping a lot. Okay, so either way, so Dark Fate was the last one that came out a few years ago. So either way, I still haven't seen it yet, but he gave us his rating as a 7, so that's good. Now this is an interesting one, The Musketeer.
I've seen that.
The Musketeer?
A long time ago.
I don't know if I saw that one. But he gives it an 8.5.
I've seen that one. It is. I give it a 8.5. I'd give it like a 6.
Yeah,
it's watchable.
Let me see if it's the one I'm thinking of.
Like the worst thing I ever seen.
But is it The Musketeer or The Musketeers? Because this is the problem.
I'm thinking of The Musketeers with an S.
Let me see. Because it does seem like there's multiple. No, back in 2001 there was a Musketeer movie. Yeah. Which one is this? Who is that in that? Okay, so this is the one he's talking about. So that's got Tim Roth, Mina Suvari, Justin Chambers. That's from 2001. Wow. Stephen Ray. I might have seen this one. I'm not sure. It's possible.
Yeah, I've seen that one. It's decent.
I might have seen that one.
6.5.
I can't rate it.
I can't give him one as high as he did, but hey, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, he really liked it.
I don't know about no 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's possible I watched it.
I'd watch it again, you know.
Because I remember the Three Musketeers movie that came out at like the late 90s. I remember that one to a degree. But that was clearly before this. But I know all these people in this, so I mean, I don't know. Can't really rate it there, buddy. He's like giving us a whole bunch of movies you haven't seen. That's funny. Or was that actually a sequel to that movie? That would have been interesting. All right, now we've got one I definitely know I've seen. San Andreas with The Rock, as you showed us earlier.
Yeah.
So
if you're some
that one, he gives it a 7.4, which is pretty high in my mind because that movie wasn't that good, but it does have a particular actress in it that definitely elevates that movie. It's not unwatchable. I'd probably give it like a 6.5. And that's 100% on the fact that she's in this movie, not because anything The Rock does in it. And her name is slipping my mind, but I'm going to just pop over to my Instagram because I follow her. And I believe it is... Whoa. What was that? Alexandra Daddario. That's who. I knew it was Alex something. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's
exactly what you're talking about.
That is the main. She's very wet in that movie, so therefore, maybe I'll bump it to a 7 just for that scene alone. So I almost agree with you. He gives real decimal points. We just go halves usually. He goes on full on decimal points, so he gave it a 7.4. Is that irony because that's what the earthquake was? I don't remember. That would be funny if that's what the earthquake was in that movie. Oh, interesting. The Nut Job 1 and 2. I never saw those, but I don't have kids. I don't know if your kids have seen those movies. That's the one with the squirrels in the park.
Never seen those.
Wait, did I see the first one?
I've never seen those.
I might, because I believe the first one came out while I was still dating.
I've seen all the Ice Age movies.
Yeah. That was definitely where it came from. Let me do a quick Google just real quick. Let's see if I might have seen the first one back when I was still. That's funny. The second movie was called Nutty by Nature was the subtitle. You know what?
That is fun.
I might have seen the first one back when I was still essentially a stepdad. Not enough to rate it. It wasn't terrible, but I might have seen it. I mean, I would give it a 5 probably because I don't think it's anything horrible. But yeah, he gives it a 7.6. Wow, he's rating it pretty decent. And the second one, I guess, was lesser, so it is what it is. Okay, so Top Gun Maverick. Did you see that one?
Unfortunately, not yet. I want to, though.
Well, there we go. We need to have a movie night. We'll watch Top Gun Maverick together.
That one obviously is a fantastic movie, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. It's amazing. And my castmates that have seen it have all rated it really high, but I still haven't seen it. In fact, I think he's already asked us about that
I
one.
hadn't either.
Going way back in the day, going to War Games, the old Matthew Broderick movie. Oh, I don't know.
I have seen that one. I'm trying to remember. It's been so long, though.
Shall we play a game?
I hate giving like a generic fake.
Yeah, because it's like it's so old.
I don't remember it.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. I'm like,
yeah, you got to give us some credit, Jay, because we are all like at least. I don't think there's. Okay, Sean is the youngest member of our cast, and he's 39. So like none of us are young enough to remember that offhand because that came out when we were kids. I've heard it's fun, but like if I saw it was so long ago I can't rate it. I mean, he gives it an 8, so that's pretty cool. Also, guys, if you're listening, play along in the comments down below. Now this one, on the other hand, I can jump in on the Riddick movies. Like the Chronicle of Riddick.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, Chronicles of Riddick.
Or even what was the first one called?
Van Diesel, boy.
What was the first one? Pitch Black.
Yep.
So that
Pitch Black, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I remember that.
Okay, so I just got chills remembering that. So let's see, Pitch Black, because I only saw the first two. I never saw Riddick. So that was the third one. And I never saw the animated one that came out later, or played the game. All of that was canon somehow.
I've never seen the animated. I did play the game though.
Oh, the Escape from Butcher Bay. Actually, for some reason I remember that. Pitch Black. I would give Pitch Black probably like a 7.5. That was a pretty good movie, and it's scary enough. The story's good.
Yeah, I'd give it a 7.5 too.
Yeah, that's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I give that one a 7.5. It was good.
Yeah. And like, as somebody who was very much afraid of the dark as a kid, that one really got me, before I was kind of out of that. Now, Chronicles of Riddick being a direct sequel to that. I remember watching it in the theaters when it was brand new. It is super cheesy now, but not terrible. I would definitely put it a little bit lower. I'd say a 7. Some of the cheese factor does.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you on that too.
Yeah, because it's not. It's a.
And I never saw the third one either. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I heard the third one was okay, but also kind of went downhill too. And like there was good storytelling, but that movie was also really long. Chronicles of Riddick. That movie was definitely way too long. The thing that stands out to me in that one was a scene of the other. What are they called? Furians or something like that. The other guy who's like blending in with the necromancer people. Like he's same species as Riddick, but he doesn't tell them. And he's on that planet where like the sun is like burning away the whole surface of the planet, and like he chooses to die just by walking out into the burning sun. And like he actually gets like pretty far, and you can see like most of him is burned away, but he's still walking. And I'm like, that's a pretty badass scene. And it's like that dude, even though he's not jacked like Riddick, but he has the enough in him that he's doing that. I was like, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, it was the movie got kind of cheesy. It could have been 2 movies realistically. They could have split that up a little bit better. And then like the ending of it was silly. It reminded me of God of War in a way, like the video game, especially with him sitting on the throne, kind of remorseful at the end, even though he's now the leader of the necromancers or mongers or whatever they were called. It's been a while, but I had that movie forever. I watched it a lot. But I think Pitch Black was definitely better. But as for the rest of them, I never did anything with the rest of them. So, and then the last one is Timeline. Timeline. Let me go see.
I've never seen that one.
Let me go see what that is. If that's the one I'm thinking of, that's where they go back to medieval times. It's Paul Walker, Gerard Butler. I think that, yeah, that's exactly what that one is. I never saw it. I remember it, but I never watched it. For sure, that's what that is. They get like this. I don't know if it's like a college thing or whatever, but they like there's this time machine. They get sent back to the medieval ages. So never saw it, unfortunately.
I like Gerard Butler.
I do too. I think that he's slightly gone downhill, or at least been in some crap movies in the last decade. Like he was in a lot of really good movies, and then he hit his like rom-com phase, and then he went back to being a low-level action hero. So like he's got a bit of an elevator going on with his career. But he, Jay gave it an 8, so maybe it's good. I know we don't really disagree, but we don't 100% agree on stuff. So, but either way,
Right.
Maybe we'll go see some of these movies and come back to you. But definitely ask me more about movies with Alexandra Daddario in it. It gives me more reason to go back and rewatch them and give you a new rating.
Any reviews on those
Like-
type of movies?
Like the new Texas.
Or Selma Hayek or any of
Yeah, Selma Hayek. Yeah, that'd be horrible if I had to watch movies with her in it. Or Catherine Zeta-Jones. Yeah, don't send me to watch any Catherine
Definitely
Zeta-Jones
terrible.
movies. Or
Especially her in Zorro. boy.
yeah, that's where my mind immediately went, was Zorro. Or what was the one with Sean Connery? Entrapment. Where she's doing doing the yoga under the lasers.
The lasers and stuff.
Yep, yep, all of that. Definitely no Angelina Jolie movies either. Don't tell us to go rate those. At least not anything past the Tomb Raiders, because at least the first couple Tomb Raiders were okay, but I never saw the other one. All right, so he says again, thanks for letting me get all of this out. I think my levels may have gone down 1.5 to 2 points just by typing all this out. So he's like hovering at like a 9 on the anger scale, and he's just kind of trying to deflate a little bit by communicating with us. So he does say, I just don't know whether to cry, vomit, or go to a local bar and beat the crap out of someone. Well, definitely don't do the last one. Like I already said, it's like don't. Yeah, I said the last one might get you in trouble. Yeah, no shit. It's like don't take your anger out. Don't take your anger out on strangers due to a situation they have no control over. It's not worth it. And then there's a significant amount of emails after that where he's explaining the updates on his mom. So I already pretty much gave all those. So it is what it is. But yeah, so thanks for writing in, Jay. Once again, if you guys ever want to write in and vent or just talk to us about stuff, by all means, we're here. We talk about mental health kind of, on the regular and stuff like that, because we've all dealt with stuff, whether it's depression or terrible situations or anger issues. I'm sure we've all had that, and then of course, Dewdawg over here has been dramatically harassed from the community he was a part of, to the point that his actual life was beginning to get drawn into it. So, I mean, we're all used to it, and I think we are a little older at least than Jay. So we've had probably a little bit different, or at least more life experiences to be able to give advice or at least talk through it. So, by all means, if any other nerd questions out there about anything, any other topics y'all want to bring up, hit up the email. We'll also read comments here. We didn't really have any this week, except for the fact I corrected myself on, I said that Robbie Amell was in Arrow, and he wasn't. He was on The Flash. It's like I thought he was the guy who played Arsenal on Arrow. When I got it wrong, he played Firestorm on The Flash. So that was my bad. I had that backwards. Had the wrong white guy playing a superhero. Oh no. But because he's in the latest season of The Witcher. That's why he came up at all. So either way, guys. So do the like and subscribe thing. Rate us.
He'll get it white. He'll get it white next time.
There you go. There you go. Do the like and subscribe thing, of course. Check out all my channels, Ricky's stuff that he does. Rusty, whenever Rusty gets a chance to come back. And, of course, go check out Dewdawg on the socials. He's not doing a whole lot of reviews, but he's still posting stuff with toys and whatnot. And occasionally a good word.
Instagram's every day, all day, pretty much. Instagram stories. That's where I keep all my stuff updated. So if you really want to see what I'm doing, that's really the best way to,
Yep. So
keep up with it.
God, plumbing, and toys. If you need those things in your life, follow Dewdawg.
There you go.
It's pretty much kind of how it goes.
I'll be glad to help you.
You need to have
those three things.
You need to have a coat of arms, something like that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be hilarious.
So, do something along those lines. And when we first started recording, I had something in mind, like an actual 3-word phrase, and I lost it because we were talking. And because you're new here, you don't know. So when we're doing the outros, we end on a simultaneous K-bye. So that's in Sean's honor, because that's how he used to just bail on the show, and whenever he had to leave, he would just yell K-bye and disappear. So make it fun.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah, that's the way he always did it. So that's how we.
So we need to time it and do it in unison, or what?
We do it as close to unison as possible after I say, and with that, guys, K-bye.
K-bye.
There you go. And I can edit it to be unison.